is brought to you by the People's National Party.
Make the trumpets play. Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave. They can tell me how we can do it together. When we look at the future of precipice, we see Jamaica needs the vision of the PNP. People said the bag of promises, them can't carry go shop. And the crime rate getting high, I wonder when it all goes now, comrades. Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave. We can tell me how.
The proceeding was brought to you by the People's National Party.
Pleasant morning to all my great people joining in the live, right? And you know, we have to pay respect, of course, to the people in the chat room, right? Because, you know, they are the Energizer Bunny, you know. So we have to give some respect to them. So let me just first do my roll call for this morning. And as usual, Dorothy McCoy, 1357, right? Beverly, bless up yourself. Richard Reed, bless up yourself. Falmouth Girl, right? And Falmouth Girl is a part of the membership, and trust me, right? Love the energy. George Beckford, 796, and of course, Pamela Okolo, right? And next, one of our membership, right? Right. Greetings to you, Pamela, as well. And of course, Patel Krushank, we have Laverne, P9R, Carla Ibanks, right? Kay and Paulette, and at Devon, Watson, at Kareen, Iran, right? And, you know, I want to say, you know, thank you for tuning in, as always, right? Trust me, I just, you know, each moment, right, each day, I just becoming more appreciative, right, of, you know, the people who join on and the people who continue to follow Mystic Sensation. Now, yes, we have some quite interesting topics that we want to speak on, because we realize that NNN quite concerned about the performance between, you know, the cable network and the internet, or let us put it in two categories: mainstream media and social media. And, you know, they are concerned as it relates to how social media is picking up momentum. But it is just not only Jamaica. It is just not only Jamaica. It is globally. And, you know, people, they are doing their research. They're doing their queries as to, you know, what is causing the rising social media, right? And social media is, you know, gaining momentum, right? I mean, internet is gaining momentum over cable network, right? Our social media is gaining momentum over mainstream media. Let me say this. As I said before, that mainstream media is censored. And apart from that censorship, it's the narrative that they coined, right? Whether they're defending a political base. And what people are finding out that mainstream media, right, is not really truthful. Their narratives mostly align with their political philosophy. And you can see that NNN is leading in that respect. And people over the time, right, you know, they had lost trust and confidence, right, in mainstream media, and people gravitating towards social media. Why is this? We realize that mainstream media, they will speak of things and speak of issues, but notice, not presenting the source of information or giving you the evidence right then and there. And so for the listenership, right, who's sharing to that space in terms of, yearning for information and want to know the truth, right? Mainstream media for many other times don't offer that truth. Now, social media, when someone come at Mystic Sensation, someone goes at Andre Stevenson, or someone goes at a Lonesome, someone goes at a Rattigan, right? Melting Pot, right? You name it, right? And when we speak on subjects, we present the source of information, and people like that, right? Because people realize that, okay, you have a lot of research done into your program, and you're not just only speaking on subjects, you are offering the source of the information. And we put them in a chronological sequence. It's like an open book where you can start from the introduction, and then you can go to page 1, page 2, and page 3. You understand what I'm saying? And people can follow along. Mainstream media, no, it's not like that. They control a particular narrative, right? And they try to sugarcoat, right, certain information because they don't want it to get out there, particularly when they are defending, right, a political party. No, we are not like that. Social media is not like that. And globally, when I do the research, and if you do the research, you will see that it is a really large concern out there as it relates to, huge, right, mainstream media, CNN, BBC, right, a lot of these mainstream media, they are concerned as it relates to social media momentum. Once again, it goes to truthfulness and credibility. You don't want to lose that. Having said that, let me just get into some situations as it relates to the narrative that mainstream media, kind. And when you put out that narrative there, particularly, when it comes to election era, people want to know the truth, right, as it relates to, the pursuit of good governance. And when you are pursuing for good governance, which is going to benefit the entire nation, right? Not the elites, not the ones in the bubbles, right? But good politics that is going to drive a nation forward. People want to have that because it's all about generation building, regardless of the political philosophy that we are defending, right? And I will always say, which for people who always follow me, right, will know, say, well, all right, a Mystic Sensation are strictly manlyites. Strictly manlyites. But ask why I am a manlyites, right? I will tell you. For many people who following the politics and you ask them, why did you vote for PNP or why did you vote for GLP? They can't tell you, right? But I know why I am a strictly manlyites, and it is because of the political philosophy as it relates to democratic socialism, right? Democratic socialism that stands, right, as it relates to equal opportunity spread throughout the length and breadth of Jamaica, right? And when you go in the history of democratic socialism from Norman Manley to Michael Manley and live until today's date as it relates to what extend into Mark Golding picking up the leadership of democratic socialism and, carrying the baton. And so then for me, I am very much happy because when I look on the two political philosophies, right, we don't really talk about a third party because really and truly, we have never have a third party that existed in terms of, gaining strong political dominance. Yes, they are in the political fray, but they normally just do a little basic scratch. People know say that they are there, but they have no impact, and that is what I'm driving at. So we are more like a two parties country, right? The PNP and the Jamaica Labour Party. But when you dig into both histories and what you're getting from the Jamaica Labour Party, and the truth be told, and this is why now people will come to social media, because we speak the truth, right? And when we study and we put them under the microscope, we realize that the People's National Party is the party that is going to deal with, social programs, right, nation building, and so forth, right, as it relates to democratic socialism. On the other hand, unlike Jamaica Labour Party that entrench with capitalism, and particularly people, listen to me, we can say that capitalism is the market, right, the free market, enterprise, and so forth and so forth. But what's trod along with capitalism is what we call crony capitalism, where we see the act of nepotism, cronyism, skullduggery, and all sorts of things as it relates to what Andrew Onus is doing. Strictly crony capitalism. And that is something that any society will want to flush out of their political system, because that drown the economy, right? Corruption kills the nation. And so then as a result of that, right, we have to call a spade a spade. Now, having said this, let us show you as it relates to the great concern that they have. And we are going to break it down for them and tell them why, right, it is so that mainstream, that social media is definitely, right, building the momentum. And it is not going to stop, right, because it is what it is. Now, let us visit over NNN and hear the political rhetorics coming from the NNN as it relates to how they are concerned that mainstream media is actually failing. Let us tune in to that. All right.
The pressures that were brought to bear in 2025 as advertising revenue collapsed. The hurricane made life terrible in the last 3-4 months of 2025. And we've had to, like the big boy, be making changes. Now, the changes we made are driven largely by numbers and revenue. And many times, our listeners, Tona, are not, our audience, are not appreciative of the things that inform the decisions to make changes. And so they are thinking from a purely self-interest perspective. I like this program, you should not have cut this program. Or I like this segment, you should not have dispensed with this segment. But what do the numbers show us about the performance of the segment? What do the numbers show us about the performance of the program? Difficulties abound right the way through. And we have had to do some serious alterations to ensure we survive. I mean, it's not the sexiest what's on my mind in the world, but it needs to be said. I'm no longer in the position where I just come to work, write story, and go home. I've long passed that stage. The well-being of the business and the direction of the business is not just Cliff's shoulder that those responsibilities rest on, it also rests on mine. I have to be thinking about how does this thing work so we can keep in employment the young people we have here and the also not so young people that we have here. How do we keep our business afloat in a tough time for media right around the world, not just in Jamaica? You know, as I said, all views are welcome. Yesterday I saw a good friend of mine. Let
me stop you right here, Josh Davis, and let us zoom in on what you have said. All right, Josh Davis, the truth about the situation as it relates to mainstream media losing their revenue based, right, over a protracted period, and where here we have it, right, competing as it relates to social media. It goes back to what I'm saying. The censorship is a problem. So when you try to narrow it down, Draws Davis, to specificity, that's where you're wrong. The overarching thing as it relates to social media and mainstream media, right? People want to have the truth at the end of the day, right? People will be attracted to your platform if they know that, okay, your platform is about credibility. If you should ask me as a host of Mystic Sensation that, okay, all right, if I am to listen to a Portland Spice, I'm giving giving a situation, explaining as it relates to why people gravitate towards a platform. If I am to listen to a Portland Spice and listen to Big Mama, and where Big Mama is going to kind the politics to suit his political interests, as opposed to a Portland Spice, a Colin Bell, who is going to bring on a Ralston Iman, and you're going to listen the truth about the economy. People are going to gravitate towards a Portland Spice. When you listen to a Mystic Sensation, who is going to look on certain things and understand that, okay, all right, the Prime Minister's statutory declaration cannot be certified going 3 years. And when you make the comparison in the entire Caribbean basin, right, there is no other Prime Minister ever in history would have experienced something like that, where their statutory declaration cannot be certified going 3 consecutive years. Is that good politics? No. But when you have a Big Mama station who don't want to speak about it, right, and a station, a media station who don't want to bring the issues, the genuine issues, right, as it relates to the objectiveness of good governance, people over the time, they are going to, you understand, they are going to leave you. They are going to leave you. They are going to go to a Portland Spice. They are going to go to a Mystic Sensation. They are going to go to a Reggae Dub Scene. They are going to go to a Rattigan. They are going to go to a Andre Stevenson. Right? And why? It's simple. Because when they speak, right, they are going to say, all right, look, my listeners, it is not my say. This is the source. And they are comfortable with that because you are giving them, you're pointing them to a direction of resolution. Let us talk about a problem here. If you have a problem, one is going to want to, in terms of the person who is going to attend to deal with resolution of the problem, he's going to hear you out. He's going to listen to you keenly. That person must have the ability to empathize and sympathize with what you're saying. And then the person is not just only going to just listen to you. The person has to lead you to a resolution. Right? And so then you're going to be satisfied. When you go on a Portland Spice, what you get on a Portland Spice, you have a Ralston Iman who's going to come in, and Ralston Iman is going to take the people through the economy, and Ralston Iman is going to explain, and people are going to say, okay, I never know this, right? Those sort of ingredients, rich ingredients, right, don't express over Big Mama. Big Mama is an assisting to the fact that the government, right, is now looking left to the fact that, is owing the government such a large revenue, right? The truth be told, the government bypassed his wrongdoing and he continued to increase that revenue debt. And so then he has to sing for his money, right? No, that is corruption. That is corruption. People don't really like that, right? And people see you for what you are. Let us give some of the example in terms of what I am talking about when I say people follow a platform because of the credibility of that particular platform. One will say, right, the space is rightly deserving of Andre Stevenson. The space is rightly deserving of a Mystic Sensation, rightly deserving of a reggae dub scene, rightly deserving of a Portland Spice, a Reason with Rattigan. These are platforms that are going to take you, teach you, and bring you to a level as, you know, as opposed to the politicking, and you try to paint, right, a situation, you know, in a good light where it is not. You call it the alternate reality. People don't want to live in alternate reality when it looks like, okay, all right, what is truthful appears to be a lie. And what is lie appears to be truthful. So when the Prime Minister using an NNN, and the Prime Minister said, don't listen to some of these channels because they are dealing with misinformation and disinformation. And in the same breath, it is the Prime Minister who is doing it. And you have these stations who definitely selling the Prime Minister narrative. That is an ultimate wrong. That is an ultimate wrong. And people are gravitating. Let us show the examples of what we are talking about. And this is one of the reasons why the people over Mystic Sensation. So we are not going to just accuse a station and don't show the reason. Why am I saying that, right, they are losing the sense of credibility? Let me show you one example as it relates to NNN, losing that sense of credibility, and people can understand. And when I present this, people said, okay, well, there it is. There it is. Mystic Sensation presented what is facts. You understand? And I mean, you can't beat that. You can't beat that. Right? So let me show an example as it relates to why NNN losing that sort of sting. Right? We know that one time gone when you have a Cliff Hughes, right? In the late 80s and early 90s. You understand? Cliff Hughes used to pull that energy because what? The credibility that used to pronounce them. But you have lost it. And I hope that you have done an introspection or try to do an introspection and find out, you understand, where did I lose it? Right? And wheel and come again. Now, let me show you, Cliff Hughes, how you have been losing it over the years. Look at this information, Cliff Hughes. Let me just go to this and show John Public what we are talking about. All right. Let me just show John Public what we are talking about here. Now, this is a situation that definitely hurt Cliff Hughes, right, from a long time. Cliff used to pay PJ Patterson $12.5 million for defamation. Now, Cliff Hughes, this is true. This is fact. Right? Now, let us get into it. Kingston, Jamaica, the Supreme Court has ordered journalist Cliff Hughes to pay former Prime Minister PJ Patterson $12.5 million in damages resulting from defamation to his character. The court made the ruling a short while ago and has awarded interest, which legal watchers have said could take the figure to at least 20 million. Now, Cliff Hughes, this is one of the consequences that you have faced. And you have bared because the Cliff Hughes that we know, right, becomes politicized, right, for the wrong reason. And then when you now accuse someone wrongfully without what? Without proper investigation. This is where now mainstream media getting slapped again. Not able to do the proper research, right? And even if you do the proper research, what we are seeing, and you know the truth, you try to thwart the truth. That is wrong. You try to circumvent the truth. You can't do that, Big Mama. And this is one of the cases that I'm making reference to in terms of where you try to circumvent the truth. Right? So here it is, Big Mama. I am giving you an example. Patterson had sued Hughes, who had the news station nationwide in May 2010, claiming he had been defamed and seeking millions of dollars in general aggravated and exemplary damages. The claim is related to a news item. Hear it now, Cliff Hughes. A news item aired by the station in 2009 concerning an incident at the Norman Manley International Airport involving a digital charter flight, which arrived from Cuba with Patterson. Now, this is how you politicize the situation, Cliff Hughes, right? And you didn't do the proper investigation. And to the fact that you have not done the proper investigation, right, PJ Patterson sued you for defamation of character, right? That is on your record. So what that do now, Cliff Hughes? You have lost credibility, because in terms of you selling your political narrative, in order to have the Jamaica Labour Party gain momentum over a propaganda, and where you end up being sued, right? This is how, brick by brick, you're losing the credibility, you're losing the momentum. The Cliff Hughes who we once knew to be vibrant, the Cliff Hughes now has now turned himself, right, in a political operative. Am I lying? No. Let us look at the next evidence, Cliff Hughes. We are taking you through, you understand, your concern, Draws Davis' concern concerning that they are losing the momentum. But let us take you and show you the facts in terms of why you are losing the momentum. Right? Now, look at this now, Cliff Hughes. This is another situation. Now, let us hear this, Cliff Hughes, that not only that you try to kind a political narrative, but your participation in deceitfulness and lie, it turns off a lot of people. And this is a case that, again, Cliff Hughes turned off a lot of people, because this was fabricated. And where you should be charged for this. But we will speak after this clip. Look at this.
Back to Primetime News, and a special welcome to the folks watching on onespotmedia.com. Up first this evening, this is what we always feared. Shock and condemnation after a gun attack at Nationwide News this afternoon left staff members scampering for cover. There has been widespread condemnation from the Press Association of Jamaica, the Media Association of Jamaica, as well as members of the government. Now, Giovanni Dennis was on location and he's joins us live on set. Giovanni, first of all, what did you see when you got there?
Well, thanks so much, Archie. Well, when I got there, first and foremost, I saw yellow tape on the outskirts. I was shocked because I was in the vicinity when I got the call from Janella. I got there before some police officers got there. In fact, I just was looking around, commiserating with staff members who I saw, who I know as well. What I saw was this Subaru sedan parked at the front. I saw bullet holes in the vehicle. The shooting happened around 4:30 by a lone gunman on a bike. This staff was a witness.
You know, it's I let out one girl about 4:30, one car, 4:30. And the writer said, write a book. And then they talk mother on the phone and let me see one bike come there. So, and then big 1200 and 600, the muffler at the bottom. So, I see come and say, I want to swallow in and I pick up a mobile so I can shop. I see it. So, I don't know anything. So, when you do a shot start fire, so I just lean back and just look on the phone, say, so that's, you know.
Now, while we were there on location, I saw the CEO of Nationwide News, Cliff Hughes, come on location. He was getting information from staff because he wasn't there when the shooting actually happened. I walked in the studio, snuck in while they were on air, and I got an interview with him while he was on a commercial break.
My reaction is one of shock. This was what we always feared, yes? And when it happens, you're still in shock, left in shock. And what is uppermost in my mind now is the impact on my staff. Last week or earlier this week, when I warned about the danger of the comments of the PNP General Secretary, Dayton Campbell, this was uppermost in my mind. Those people, yes, who are not well-thinking people, yes, not the majority of PNP supporters are Jamaicans who are well-thinking people and will take this in strides. But that lunatic, that gunman, that criminal who attempted to terrorize us, yes, they don't need any further goading or inciting. And my staff this afternoon, especially the younger ones, yeah, we have been here, I've been here, I've seen so many things in my job and career as a journalist, yeah? So they don't scare me, they don't intimidate me, but it's the others on the staff who I worry for. And what if one of those members of staff was coming through that gate at that moment?
Luckily, that was not the case. No one was wounded.
Now, let us, dig into this. Right now, Jamaica people, let us breathe a little. Let us breathe a little. Cliff Hughes, this is beyond the extreme. Beyond the extreme. Not only that, the cut and thrust of the political campaign, and you speak, certain things, but to concoct it, let me get to you, Cliff Hughes, to concoct a story like this, like the one that you have concocted, knowing deep down it is false, to politically malign the PNP candidate, to destroy him, to say to the public that it is because of the political rhetoric that escape his mouth, some lunatic take it upon their head and come and attack the station. This is wrong. Cliff Hughes, this is beyond the extreme. Let me ask you, Cliff Hughes, what is the status of that particular case? It is when Lonesome and Mystic Sensation, right, start to dig into it and pull it apart, right, you realize that you need to stop. No, Cliff Hughes, that was dangerous. Because you know what you could have created? You could have created one of those lunatic that you spoke about, right, to go and attack Dayton Campbell. You have put the man's life in danger. Cliff Hughes, you need an introspection. Knowing to the fact that this information was false. Knowing to the fact that you have staged a scene, and the way how you had reported it, it is Cliff Hughes, it gone beyond the pale. These are the issues that people in Jamaica have with a Cliff Hughes, have with a NNN. It's wrong. It's wrong, Cliff Hughes. And then after you create a firestorm with that, and when we start to dig into it, you back down. You should be charged. You should be charged for that. That's another defamation. That's very serious. But you have gotten away with it because of a kleptocratic government who also align with you to carry out those things. It is wrong, Cliff Hughes. It is wrong. That you would meddle in such evil. Cliff Hughes, say to yourself that if someone, told a lie on you and plant certain things to bring you down, how would you feel about that, Cliff Hughes? How would you feel? And this is what you have done. And you have not come out. You have not apologized for that. But guess what, Cliff Hughes? You did not stop there. I am telling Jamaican, showing Jamaican the evidence. You did not stop there. When you realized that that didn't work, you went and you concocted another lie. Let us show the other lie that you have concocted. And this is why you're losing credibility, Cliff Hughes. Look at this.
Welcome back to Primetime News. Up first this evening, a high-level investigation is underway into a suspected case of arson at the nation's parliament at Gordon House on Duke Street. The incident happened early Sunday morning. Halshane Burke has the details.
According to reports, the incident happened sometime before midnight on Saturday. This has resulted in minor damage to the entrance doors. It's understood that an individual gained access to the building and attempted to start a fire, causing minor damage to a wall and electrical fixtures. Police personnel on duty responded promptly and extinguished the fire. The incident was captured on surveillance video, which has been shared on social media. The individual involved was seen fleeing the scene. No injury was reported. The parliamentary opposition, the People's National Party, PNP, has expressed concern and called for a swift and comprehensive investigation into the matter. The PNP views the incident as an attack on the country's legislative symbol and is urging law enforcement to take necessary measures to ensure the security of parliamentary institutions and bring those responsible to justice. Meanwhile, in a release Sunday afternoon, Clerk to the Houses of Parliament, Colleen Lowe, indicated that Parliament is now reviewing its security arrangements. This after consultations with the Senate President Tom Tavares Finson and House Speaker Juliet Holness, along with the team in charge of security at Gordon House. An appeal is being made to anyone with information to come forward and assist the police with their investigation. Halshane Burke, TVJ News.
So let us take that away. Let us take that away. So Cliff Hughes, when you put the politics in a situation like that, you're trying to create political violence. It is a fundamental wrong. Have you ever looked into yourself in saying, what I am doing, it can cause the lives of Jamaicans? And that would be on his shoulder. And so then you have lost that touch. One cannot see at NNN or anyone at NNN, right, as it relates to investigative journalism. They can't. When it considers all these factors of fabrication, concocted stories that very dangerous, right? It gone beyond the pale. You have now aligned yourself as a political operative that is dangerous. That is dangerous. Putting into the ear poison narratives to warp the mind of people, invoking those political lunatics that you are talking about, to create what? Violence in the society. It is a fundamental wrong and one that we have to call out. And this is the reason why, Cliff Hughes, right, as it relates to your concern, you're losing these views, right? So you have to understand, Cliff Hughes, as it relates to all of that. Now, Jamaican people, we are going to move on to a next topic. But Jamaica thinks seriously in terms of what we are talking about, right? When we talk about, mainstream media that becomes political operative and becomes dangerous, endangering our lives in society. Now, let me deal with a little history right here. Right? And Jamaica, we have to get serious, We have to get serious. And here why we have to get serious. If you notice, when it comes to our healthcare and certain members of parliament, particularly the Jamaica Labour Party, when they are seeking treatment, they seek treatment outside of Jamaica. What is that saying? Huh? And I mean, if there are conditions that Jamaica, of course, it is in the ambit that the Jamaican healthcare can deal with. But they chose not to. And if they chose not to, and they, go overseas to get their healthcare done, they are saying that our healthcare system is not up to standard, right, as it relates to dealing with their situation. That sends a strong message. Look at this, Jamaica. That we elected a Tufton who has been there from 2016. But if you make the comparison as it relates to healthcare under a Portia Simpson administration, right, and healthcare under Andrew Holness administration, it's day and night. When we talk about the dilapidation level, it's gross under the Jamaica Labour Party. Right? When it comes to not having essential service, it grows under the Jamaica Labour Party. But what we have heard on the campaign, we are so confused. Because you have a Christopher Tufton that came out on the campaign, and these are the things that coming back now to haunt him, the Auditor General. So when you have the healthcare minister goes out on campaign and he shouted out, right, to the people who are his base, his political base. And as according to a program that we want to get into later, the political base that 75% of them, as according to a particular argument, not, educated, don't even have bird paper. We are going to address that situation because that situation is very serious. And so then, of course, you can politically malign these people. You can speak over their heads. And, you can fool them because they don't have the cranium to think. you can manipulate them. And so then you go on your parade and you said, never before, no administration, and this is your strategy in terms of mixing truth and lie. That's why when Satan ride on the pale horse, he's most dangerous. And so you're riding on the pale horse, right? Half truth, half lie. And you send it out there loud, you big up your chest, you lift up your chest, and you said, never in the history of the politics, no other administration had spent the money in healthcare as it relates to Andrew Holness administration. While that is so as it relates to procurement and the trickery, what you have done with the procurement is another thing. So on record, yes, it is there that you increase the budget from $64 billion to $147 billion. That's on record. That's true. It's on record. The question, Jamaican people, how was that money spent? That's the question. Did we get value for money? The other question. Is it that all the expenditures being properly accounted for? That's where the rubber meets the metal. What happened? Faulty procurement. Who does it benefit? It benefits those who continue to cheat the system, continue to rob taxpayers through faulty procurement, and continue to rob the healthcare system by not following through as it relates to the money budgeted to really spend the true budget into the healthcare. And here, Jamaica, we have a serious problem. The problem of corruption. Serious corruption. When we look today, we said, and we question ourselves, then hey, if you increase the budget, the healthcare budget, from $64 billion to $147 billion, how the healthcare system is short of beds? I am just speaking on one item. We're not touching MRI machine, right, and certain dialysis machine, and we are not touching there. Just for ease of better understanding, let us stick to one item. And he said, then if you spend $167 billion, partially 300% increase. But yet, in Portia Simpson's time, we have more bed to support our patient. But you spend much more than Portia's administration and have less beds. Something wrong. Something is wrong. What is wrong? But what is wrong has been identified by persons who care, persons who look on the system and see the corruption, person who goes through the system and said, no, the system is so dilapidated, I have to help. Let us show you one example of what I'm talking about. Let us show you one example of what I am talking about. When we see something like this,
CEO of the Mandeville Regional Hospital in Manchester, Alwyn Miller, is thankful to the Shaggy Make a Difference Foundation and the Project Cure Foundation for their donation of 44 hospital beds on Saturday. He says, although the hospital is overcrowded, the team remains committed to providing the best service.
The count up to yesterday was about 300, approximately 320 patients. So numbers have come down a bit, still a little bit above our normal average, but we are doing all this stuff.
He says there has been an increase in patients since Hurricane Melissa.
The normal average prior to the hurricane was in the proximity of about 275. And since the hurricane, the highest it has gone to is about 361.
This is the motivation behind this 44-bed installation. According to Mr. Miller, this contribution will not only replace damaged beds at the facility, but also expand patient capacity where needed. He says this donation will go a far way towards strengthening the hospital's ability to accommodate patients in a more comfortable and appropriate environment. Kenisha Gibson represents both foundations.
So for today, as you see, we're doing Mandeville, 44 beds to Mandeville. And then when we leave here, we go to Savannah Lamar Public Hospital, where they will get 80 beds.
Crystal Williams reporting for CVM News.
Now, Jamaica, let us argue a bit here, right? As it relates to that being displayed, right? Let us speak on that. Jamaica, Shaggy's Foundation has to now engage the system. Why did Shaggy Foundation engage the system? Because Shaggy himself observed the cruelty, observed the high level of dilapidation that is taking place in the healthcare system. But we remember that a Christopher Tufton on his campaign had spoken clearly that no other administration in the history of the politics that had increased the healthcare budget. So let us come to the square and we ask the question, what happened to the money as it relates to what the Auditor General is saying to us? This is what the Auditor General is saying to us. The Auditor General is saying, while Christopher Tufton is out there saying that his administration increased the healthcare budget from $64 billion to $147 billion, we cannot see as it relates to what that increase have done. The Auditor General go beyond that. The Auditor General said, as a matter of fact, $700 billion unaccounted for. One can understand as it relates to that situation being gross. Over $700 billion unaccounted for. What went wrong? Let us zoom into that. Some of the things that we are hearing is that some of the expenditures, majority of the expenditures, are not properly documented. Persons getting direct contract, persons getting emergency contract, and yet there is no documentation. One of the problems is that the appropriation account has not been tendered on a yearly basis so that things can be properly traced and properly accounted for. So now Christopher Tufton, who recognized that there is a problem. But what? This is how Christopher Tufton had done it. Dunstan Bryan, Christopher Tufton take time and ease him out of the system because he cannot give account for the missing amount. And Christopher Tufton puts in Mr. Green, who don't know anything about the previous expenditures. Right? Now, let us ask a question. So with all of that money being spent, $164 billion. Follow me. Limited MIR machines, limited bed resources, overcrowded hospitals under a Christopher Tufton, and the big elephant in the room, more than $700 billion unaccounted for. And we ask the question, again, this is why mainstream media is losing its momentum. Why? Mainstream media don't see these things imperative as how platforms and social media view them. Why mainstream media is not dig into that and speak about the procurement and track that and be consistent. They can't be consistent as a result of Andrew Holness having the Public Broadcasting Corporation of Jamaica in his office. The Prime Minister controlling the narrative. You see that, Jamaica? The Prime Minister controlling the narrative. Let us look at the Prime Minister controlling the narrative. The Prime Minister who decided that, look, I'm not going to sign a code of conduct. Why are you not going to sign a code of conduct? I am not going to sign a code of conduct because of what the code of conduct required of me. The code of conduct required of me to be truthful, to be ethical, and to avoid corruption. And I intend not to do none of those. Don't you see? I cannot explain my statutory declaration. But Jamaica, we tend to make it fly past in the wind. We make that fly past in the wind. And For some who are so diated, so caught up with the politics, they can't do the simple introspection. But let me ask them this morning that if you have some money and you get a builder to build a house and you paid him X amount, he told you X amount, he done a cost analysis and he gave that cost analysis to you so that you can plan your budget. And now you have your money now to, plan your budget. And when you spend your money, the house is not coming out of foundation when the house should be halfway near finish. Let me ask all of you who's still defending Andrew Ones, would you have that builder continue? When you are asking the builder to explain the expenditures and the builder cannot explain it, would you continue with that builder? Ask yourself these questions. When you are coming to argue the politics, ask yourself, do an introspection with yourself. Right? Empathize. Putting yourself in the person's shoes. And said, if I were in that situation, would I accept, after I spent billions of dollars, after a cost analysis, and I cannot get value for money, would I be continuing with that builder? 99% of you wouldn't. You wouldn't. You wouldn't. And for the obvious reason. Because you need some explanation as it relates to the expenditures. Now, when we look at Andrew Holness, he cannot and will never, ever able to explain his wealth. And this is very bad. It is the very same person that you say, you don't have to give us a CV. You don't have to give us a mandate. Everything is okay, man. We love what you're doing. You're wrecking the country. You're damaging the country's future. Future generation in trouble. Go ahead. Continue. You're doing well, Prime Minister. We don't need to see your statutory declaration being certified. As a matter of fact, we will defend you. Anyone who come out and try to speak about your statutory declaration, we will find ways and means. We will tell them that the Prime Minister has not been charged. So where are you going with that? And these are the games being played. And so then when you look as it relates to the level of corruption, you wonder. And this is the reason why we have to go back, my people, and show the importance of education. I come to the realization that yes, a person may have whatever degree, various degrees, in whatever faculty, but does these degrees make you smart as it relates to your IQ potency? I tell you, Jamaica, that many people out there who don't have a degree are even 10 times smarter than those who have a degree. Manuel said, mystics, stop speak foolishness. Do you understand why some people may not have gone on further to have a degree? Because of the financial difficulties that they have. That doesn't mean that they are not smart. And a degree doesn't make you smart. A degree only gives you a level of awareness in the particular faculty, and I want people to get that. So when someone can say, yes, I have a political science and so forth and so forth and so forth, well, that's fine. As it relates to your political science. Your political science have you involved in criminality, wrecking your nation. What is the common sense in that? What is the prudence in that? How well thinking are you to know that if you dabble in corruption, it is going to wreck the nation? And so then, for them and those who have degrees, like myself, who have a degree, it doesn't mean that you're smarter than people who don't have a degree. You may have more knowledge than individuals in your particular faculty. So we want to get that out there. Example, scenario. Would I expect a doctor to fly a plane? No. He's not a pilot. Would you expect a doctor to go around a sewing machine and stitch a perfect pants cut in perfect size? No. He can't do it. Some people may be multitask, and that's fine. So we have to be careful that, okay, because we have a degree, it means that we are smarter than the rest. That's bulls. And you know it. You know it. Many of those youths in the streets are so smart. Common sense. Common sense. Push them above the rest. And if you are so smart, tell me that the best accountant, I want you to listen to me today. If you are so smart, because okay, you have a degree and you flaunt it. You flaunt it. Some of the best accountants that I have ever seen in my life are the parents of the poor ghetto youths. How they survive on meager budget, God he knows. But every cent being stretched in a purposeful way, and every dollar being maximized. And we have seen politicians getting the sort of salary, having billions of dollars, and can't manage it. But when you really need to see some real miracle in the poor community. Father not working, and mama is just hustling, and oh, mama does it, God, he knows. It's only a miracle. Many of them who have degree couldn't able to do it. And so then for any politicians who think that corruption is the route to go, why am I saying this? Any politician who think that corruption is the route to go and damage the society, damage the nation, then you are as dunce as they came. Look into what I'm saying. Because when you strengthen the nation, you strengthen yourself. The peace and tranquility flows. Now look at this and where we are going next. Last night on the Titan Boss show, Lonesome Big Up Yourself, I asked Lonesome to send me a clip. You know, as it relates to the West Kingston shooting of the 3-year-old boy. Because there was a lady there, right, who I recognize on last night's show. She was dispelling as it relates to her experience and what was coming out of her mouth grabbed my attention because it speaks of multiple issues that I asked Brother Lonesome to send me that clip. And after last night's show, I played it and I listened keenly. And I am coming this morning because there are several things she was exposing. And if you're not a critical thinker, you wouldn't realize the things that she was disseminating, telling you about the politics, telling you as it relates to wrong that have been done over the many years, and telling you that there's a fundamental problem in Jamaica. And who the political interests suit best. That was what I was getting from her. And the hurt, the lies, the deceit, the damage. And when I look, what pulled tears from my eyes was Desmond Mackenzie leaning into what he believes that is offering support. I said to myself, what a disgrace. Look at him. Look at Desmond Mackenzie. Something that he built for years, Jamaica. Something that he is a part of as it relates to a dilapidated society. Jamaica, let us get into that for you and I to take you through that situation and that experience. So we can have our politicians up close and personal to look at them. But before I touch that, I want to speak on something. Today, as we face Hurricane Beryl and as we face Hurricane Melissa, and as we see our economy in what I call the abyss of hell, struggling, we have seen people who are suffering. We have seen the tons of AIDS that came into the island. And we have seen how politics intervene, suppress, depress. And many of those who affected not being supported, and the politics play along, using the politics for trickery. While people suffer, people suffering, even now, people suffering. And I said to myself, it's a revolving door. It's a revolving door. Continues to happen repeatedly. So the politics of yesteryear, politicians can come out and promise, but yet never deliver. The politicians who we voted for 10, 15, 20 years to hold a constituency firm. When you have Edward Seaga in West Kingston, and how long, when I heard that lady spoke, I said, my God, it just hit me. And Edward Seaga, who have been there for years in the constituency, but in spite of the years in the constituency, how is it that those people move forward as it relates to upward mobility? How is it? For 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years. How does it work? What is the progress as it relates to upward mobility for those families in the Tivoli region? Now look at this, people. Look at this. We can't make up this. And so then I have to speak on it. Right? I have to come out and speak on it. Something is fundamentally wrong. What happened to my mouse? All right? My mouse is not working for me. Come on. Come on, man. The people them want to. Come on, Mousy. Come on. What is going on? Okay, all right. Finally. Now look at this, my Jamaican people. Let us put this in front of us. Let us put this in front of us. Let us share this.
Wound to his abdomen, tragically succumbed to his injuries. The mother of the children said she was at work when she got the call of the heartbreaking news.
They at work. I'm gonna get the call. I'm gonna run off from my work. When I look, I see my baby father lie down on the ground around the sun. And I end up rushing my baby father, go out to public with him. When I look, I see emergency a come. When I look, I see I'm a 3-year-old. They look after, we all me and cry, the nurse said, mother, just take it easy and try. I couldn't manage, me end up come out. When I come out on the outside, when I look at me 8-year-old, I come in a car again.
The community of Denham Town has been shattered, neighbors left in shock, streets haunted by fear, and residents grappling with the senseless loss of a young life.
This past crazy, a wickedness. A wickedness. See, look, baby there. Look, baby. Him fine. Him not have no flesh pan him body for take no gunshot. Little bit of baby. This man, the father for this child, is a shopkeeper. Him no gunman. But sure him no gunman. Because the gunman now West Kingston not have no business. Them not have the business because them can't read and write. No. You come for kill the father and you see the pit in them and you would.
Jamaica. When you hear that? Most of the youth them in West Kingston, they don't have a business because they can't read and write. I could go on.
Spare the rat and spoil the child.
And why would we? And why we can't go on the good map? We need to unite, not to we not like each other, man. Look out for one another, and look out for each other, man. Or we are going to combine as one. We're too hypocritical. We're too bad mind. We're too lie. I set up people. When I see people and people not tell people, so not chat to she, When I for go and eat them. Me eat them. Glad me I move from boy I left them. Because nobody now do this for me, I do with you, you know. Because them are hypocrite.
Shimela Pullen.
And they must be treated in the way when they are caught by the police. As how you treat mercenaries because they are...
Jamaica. This is what is wrong with our society. A politician that does not offer true representation, political representation. A politician that goes into the politics to enrich himself and so then sabotage a constituency of the resources that need it. A politician who lacks the ability to give to his constituency upward mobility. But he cements himself that he is giving aid. What sort of aid? He is the creator of the type of society that is there. He is what is wrong with the society. He is what is wrong. Let me take it away a little. Let me just take it away a little. Jamaica. Before I speak on the political representation, I want you to hear, right, the extension of that lady speaking. Let me just find that clip for you. Listen to this, Jamaica. Listen to this. Because a lot of exposure in this that I am going to deal with, you know. Listen to this.
And them make the youths them and live how them live. Them nasty the youths them and guide them. Most of the gangsters them in our community can't read. Some of them never have bird paper. They need help.
Some of them now come chat. Because them are hypocrite. And them the youth, them a live out, them a live care go bring go. Miss up. And them. And why we are going to cry? Because we know everybody. If I up, down, round, south, east, we know all of the youths that we and them grow. We will help them. But tell the police them what they know. They say, officer, we need to get a local school here. Because I need the registration department for come here. Can we get to find out half and 3/4 West Kingston people them have the birth paper. We are call them some name and we don't know if I saw them name because them not register. Somehow we need some evening class because me don't want to graduate. Because me not go about 9th grade in a school. Me don't like to graduate high school. Me don't like to graduate. Says the government can get some evening class. For summer we go for summer we don't see, we just fuck out with latitude and with longitude. You know. It's a bite of the week. We just fuck and breathe, so you know, we don't know if we care.
Jamaica, I could dig into this. Let us dig into this. And I want people to do their own personal research. Where am I going? Where Mystic Sensation is going? The West Kingston constituency have been held in control, strong in the GLP column. Jamaica, I want you to listen to me now. I want you to listen to me. The Jamaica Labour Party has been in governance more than the People's National Party. However, the People's National Party created more social programs than the GLP. Minuscule. Look where I'm going, Jamaica. From 1954 until we speak this moment, the Jamaica Labour Party have roughly about 5 ministers within the education system that process through the court, through the judiciary. Robbing from the children's purse. Breaking the backbone of education. Jamaica, I want you to listen to me. You heard what that lady said? Several of them in the constituency don't have a birth paper. You want to see where I head up today, you know? Several of them in the communities are gangsters. 3/4 of them in West Kingston don't have any birth paper. Now, Jamaica, let you look at that. For more than 30 years. For more than 30 years, Jamaica Labour Party has not lost that constituency. Think of what I'm saying. Let me take off my glasses. Let me take off my glasses. More than 30 years. Jamaica Labour Party has not lost that constituency. Sure seat. 100%. I going? A constituency that ensure that anyone run on that ticket is sure victory. But what happened to the lives of those people as it relates to upward mobility? How does the future look for them? Who benefited from their despair and their dilemma? So many of their children died, been killed. Who benefited? Political representatives of that particular era. Zoom in, Jamaican people, and the political representative lifestyle in comparison to theirs. Zoom in. Zoom in. That they live in the prime communities, while the people who ensure to maintain their presence in parliament, maintain their presence in power, live in a very depraved way, in a depraved manner. What have they done as it relates to education? Within that constituency? How many persons there are educated as it relates to university level, tertiary level? It is Michael Manley who fought for tertiary level education to be free. You get what I'm saying, Jamaica? Edward Seaga, Bruce Golding, Desmond McKenzie. Let me ask you the question. Even although Edward Seaga, you are in the grave, but what have you done as it relates to upward mobility? But you are going to sing that, oh yes, there were once living board house and concrete house, and I move all of that. But you build them concrete structural prison to contain and maintain them for your strength in parliament, to preserve you in parliament. So what you have created there, you have created a concrete jungle that you control. You have created a political garrison so stringent to hold them in, to ensure your security in the political atmosphere. A fundamental wrong that you have done to Jamaican people. Stifle them for future success. Who cares for their education? And if Desmond McKenzie don't care for himself, who himself malice CXC, then how is he, Desmond McKenzie, who don't care for himself, for upward mobility, believe in education, that if you edify them, they are going to move forward? And so then it goes on for years. The people are in slavery. No. So that is one part of the political representation. We're going to get into another serious thing that I identified. And last night on the live, It was Bolo that I have seen. Bolo, big up yourself in the way there. Bolo shoot a question, and when Bolo shoot a question and I saw the question, I said, hey, come on. I have to dig that. Bolo asked, listen to the question. Bolo asks, how are these people able to be voted, participate in the electoral process? If, based on what she said, 3/4, 75% of these people don't have a birth certificate. And I said, oh, see Bola in a shot, yeah? Bola, big up yourself. Bola, big up yourself. I am extending Bola on the conversation that I saw you type in Titans last night. So I am not taking away your shine. I am continuing your shine. Because it is you stimulate my brain last night when you asked that question. And I said, you know, I have to. I asked immediately for Reggae Obscene for my Titan brother to send me the clip. Let me study it. And so then now we are going to continue as it relates to where Bolo left off, because that I see was very important. So what I did last night, Bolo, and I'm glad that you're in the chat. I said, you know, but what Bolo said is really important. It's something that we have to check in. I mean, how are they able to participate in the electoral process, not having proper identification? So what I did, I said, okay, let me look on the process as it relates to people who required to vote, right? Because the question that Bola asks makes sense. And it is something that you need to pull on. And so Jamaica people look at this. So what I did last night, I said, okay, right, based on the question that Bola asked, let me look on the ECJ and find out something. Now look at these people. I said, let us check the voting procedures. I want Jamaica to listen to me keenly. Come here. Let me just big up this. Because many people just drift over the question that Bola asks. But when you have someone like me, right, who see that, right, I am going to pull on it. Now, the voting procedures. Let us look at this. Bulletin point number 1. Be sure to find out exactly where you are to vote before election day. That is your specific polling station. Call or visit your EOJ constituency office or call the ECJ toll-free helpline at 888-991-VOTE in bracket 8683. Electors can also use our Check My Status feature on our website. 2, bulletin point number 2, present your voter ID card and follow the instructions of the presiding officer. People are going to get in trouble, people. Based on what the lady spoke about and based on how Bolo responded to it as it relates to Bolo question, people are going to get in trouble. Look where Mystic Sensation is going. Bulletin point number 3. If you do not have your voter ID card, you will still be allowed to vote once your name can be found on the voters list. And your identity can be confirmed. Very important, Let me read back that over now. If you do not have your voter ID card, you will still be allowed to vote once your name can be found on the voters list and your identity can be what? Confirmed. This, however, will take some additional time So be sure to take your voter's ID card with you. Now, let me stop share this because a bangaranga so, you know. Bangaranga so. And you tell me that the questions that I'm going to ask relevant as it relates to the electoral process, particularly voting. So let me ask the question. And let me ask what Bolo asks. How were these people able to vote or participate in the electoral process? As according to that information from the lady, 3/4 of the West Kingston people don't have birth certificate. How were they able to identify to be voted? What is going on as it relates to West Kingston? How were they able to go through the process? And for more than 30 years, being putting political representative in parliament. So then, if I don't have a birth certificate and the system cannot ID me, isn't that it would be that I need to fix that before I can vote? How was it that successful political representative were able to go through that process and secure their seat in parliament? How was it? Tell me. How was that able to be possible? I now going to have to call the relevant authorities and query that. They would now have to explain to me alternatives, any other alternate route that they can take that would formalize in the system for these people to vote. I wonder if you understand, you get the point that I'm driving at. Or were they able to carry out that? That to me, is just mind-boggling. Someone need to explain that. So I would have to no, this Jamaica, this, I don't understand this. How does this work? How does this work? How does this able to pass the smell test for years, for many years? I am wondering if I would like that the opposition is just hearing what I'm saying and really, do a deep dive into that situation. Now, this is serious. Now, Carla, you're on Mystic Sensation. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. Bolo here, man.
Yes, Bolo.
Well, I better say, I not even hear the other lady, because I listen to it earlier. The other lady was talking, and I noticed that she mentioned the same thing.
Exactly.
Most of them now know ID and they now know birth certificate.
Exactly.
I cost the woman, I cost them not working. That she cost them not work and they're not productive enough.
Exactly.
Just crime and then. So I want to know, what I would want to know is, I would like to get some information about how much people vote in that constituency and how much live there.
There you go.
You understand? I think there needs to be a serious audit into those facts.
But it has to be, Bolo. It has to be that, you understand, that needs to be investigated, Bolo.
Yeah, it have to be investigated because our residents from the place are said this. If you let me deal with, and you know, say, woman, when they mad, they talk people business, especially the man them. So now, them are pray the man them in the ear, and I say the man them are so, what this man where now work. And them now the business and them now the ID, they're not productive, and them same one, I get the youth, them are grow up now in a criminality. And so that energy them I get from them, when them are talking, you see them I say?
But
it's a really one kind of worms where I don't know when it's going to happen, but there needs to be a serious audit into West Kingston and maybe other JLP garrisons as well.
Exactly. I mean,
because a JLP alone we know build garrison, PNP build community.
Well,
just look on Portmore as an example.
Exactly.
People in Portmore, them have no whip over them or not like that to say you have to vote for PNP. PNP does the democratic thing and serve the people, and the people vote for the PNP because of what them see them do for them.
Yes.
But the JLP now for years of this reputation of building garrison and badmanship and danship. Right? Just look for the Prime Minister constituency. How is this man the greatest leader of all time? Who never looking at Andrew Williams' constituency when pop down?
Yeah. But Bolo.
And the man is the leader of the country for 10 years. If I was the Prime Minister, my dreams and goals for the country, you would see it in my community as the beacon.
Exactly, because that is your repertoire of representation.
Of course, that's a reputation.
Mighty
right?
God.
So how comes them have bad roads and people are living at zinc tents and garbage pile up in the Andrew constituency? That don't look good, brother.
I know.
As a leader of the country, that don't look good. You see, but people don't want to talk about them something, but those things are practical things to talk about.
Exactly.
What has he done? What has he done for his community? How has the community developed education-wise? Them have the best sports people. Is he harnessing the talent of the communities, the youth, them building and growing and becoming prosperous? Or are just him alone and his family that get prosperous?
Well, solid question, Bolo, because I mean you have you in charge, the JLP in charge for 2 generations. And you are going to tell me, as it relates to the current status of those people, your political representation.
You can't lose a same thing.
Yes.
You see me? Everybody's supposed to live in the community, brother. No joke.
So that means
you're supposed to bring all type of opportunities to the place where your education wise, say skill work at them, so you them can go some box and even become engineers and them type of thing. They have projects all over the place and I'll be productive, right? If I'm my community and I want to represent this for my community, let me tell you something, man. I just want Jamaican to lift this your eyes up Buchanan, represent East Portland for 10 years, and you're going to see what I'm talking about. You're going to see exactly what you're going to see, real transformation of the community.
Because from the onset, Isaac Buchanan introduced education.
Of course.
From the onset.
Of course. Because that's socialism right here. Study to show that, you understand? A study, you have to educate it. We believe in education. You understand? Education are the antidote to come out of poverty. So when you have a government where have representatives where they are one place and never lose yet, you always win. And furthermore, the JLP then are powerful. More than the PNP, that means you have more opportunities to excel and advance that community. And the community in this dilapidated state.
No, man, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Crazy, man. Crazy, man. Insane. Insane. But you see, people need to realize the blueprint, The blueprint is keep on the dumb, keep on the slow, uneducated, so they can continue to bamboozle and get themselves richer and richer and richer. That is the whole game. You understand? People need to wake up and rebel against that, brother. Because that's not productive. That's not their picnic. They're picking our cycle of violence and crime.
Exactly.
I know when the picnic they dead now, they come out and a ball out, but they need to look on the root of the problem. Jamaican people have to wise up mistakes. They have to wise up. You see what I say? If they're not wise up, they're not continue to get accused by these politicians. Collectively, they have to wise up. And we have the power in our hand. You feel me? I agree with
exactly.
And you can only open their mind with certain questions and then something, but at the end of the day, they have to collectively decide, so, you know, say, enough is enough. This have to stop now. We can't continue. Yeah, man, we have to upset this status quo. Yeah. Who is benefiting from these things? They're not going to like the fact say the change will come, but they have to get out of the way. You feel me? I say, because they can't give them the option, but they have to get out of the way. You see me? I deal with? Yeah, in a real life. So people have to rise up and wise up as Rasta man say, man.
Because, Bolo, I saw a clip, you know.
Yeah, well.
I saw a clip, you know, Bolo. You understand? Right in the constituency, which part the man couldn't able to even mark an X, you know.
Yeah.
No, Bolo, I mean, look. It is, trust me, it is shocking.
Yeah, man, it's shocking, but the first thing come to my mind when you see clip. Not even allow for a violin, because hold on. What do you mean? So when people play for first thing that comes to my mind.
No, seriously.
How much people voted at the constituency the last election? Because you most can't tell that, you know, based off our EOJ record, you know. Right? And then from there, so now you have to look for how much people register that have an ID. Because something don't look right. The lady said 3/4. Say it's not 3/4, say it's 50%. How much people voted in that constituency? There needs to be an audit.
Well, based on what she said, Bolo, right, yes, an audit need to be done.
Needs to be an audit, Bridget.
No, you can't continue so. This is unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Shocking. I'm glad to say take it up. You understand? I do one video on it and I post this morning.
Yes.
You understand? I'm glad to say take it up. Can I take it even further? You outline the process of which you would need, where you would need to have a vote.
Exactly.
So even though you don't carry your ID at the place, you would have to have some proof.
Exactly.
Your identification.
A proof of confirmation. You have to have that.
Proof of confirmation. So
which is going to
confirm somebody's identity.
Which is going to go back to your birth certificate.
Yes, how you do that? How you do that?
So over there able to circumvent that system.
Yes. If indeed these people are voting. So that's why we have to go back to the audit now to find out how much people is voting in the constituency. How much people is registered? What are their names? Is a fine-tune audit that's still
look.
That would have come like this. That would have come like the SSL report.
A forensic audit need to be done.
Yeah, man. Fine-tune, man. Fine-tune, man. Something not right. Something is not right, Reggie.
Well, it can't right.
It's not sound too good at all.
That can't right. Because if you have...
Sorry, what I suggest is that we have a potential high level of fraud and criminality in the electoral process.
That's what it is. That's what it is suggesting. Because when I saw... Yes, when I saw you ask a question last night, right? It just pricking on my head, you know. I said, but hold on. Yeah. That's a solid question. And so then we say, okay, all right. If you notice, I asked Lonesome to send me the clip.
Yeah, Mr. When they didn't ask him, but everyone was saying my question.
Yeah, man, I hear a question why I asked him to send me the clip.
Yeah, me and I said, yo, send me that clip. No, man, you have to go and go to something that. You have to look into that. Send me that clip there.
Exactly.
I say, yo, that's good. But we never know say me. When I listen, I want to go I realize.
And there it is, as it relates to the process, that I highlighted, I show the ECJ process, you know. So under no circumstances, they should be able to circumvent that system.
No, under no circumstances. But unfortunately, the well-thinking Jamaicans don't have any confidence in the system because, as Mr. Fitzjackson said, people know. It's just that people don't want to come out and testify. But everybody knows what's going on. You understand? Everybody knows what's going on.
So
crazy, man.
The question, look, the opposition Bolo has to get on top of it.
Yeah.
Some serious auditing needs to be done, and the thing is, Bolo, right? Not only in Tivoli.
No, that's what I'm saying. You understand? Multi-disciplinary. Them have to check it out, Bridget. You understand? Man, but big up yourself in general.
Blessings, Bolo.
Yeah, man, look more.
Thank you. But yet, we have heard, right, the person who in charge of ECJ, right, came out and said, high integrity in terms of the voting process. That can't be. Right? So that is contrary to what we are getting now. That is contrary to what the ECG person is saying. That, free and fair general election. Based on what we are seeing right now, if the situation as it relates to what the lady said, that 3/4 of these people in Tivoli Gardens, right, don't have birth certificate. 3/4. But let us reduce it to be more measurable. Set 50%. How are they able to circumvent the voting process without an ID? How did they do that? So the ECJ has to put under some serious scrutiny. Has to. Not to worry about that. They have to be audited. Some serious things need to look into as it relates to the ECJ. A canvas needs to be done as it relates to the total amount of persons that vote in West Kingston. A further audit needs to be done in terms of looking into the detail of how many persons have legitimate birth certificate. And whether those persons actually come from the community. That means anybody could have come in from elsewhere and come in for vote. No, this is madness. Jamaica, this is madness. This is serious. Let me tell this. Bless up yourself, my sister Winnie. How you doing?
Greeting to you, sir. How are you?
Blessing, Sister Winnie.
I want to ask you, the case with Mr. Paul Buchanan, what happened to that? And the next thing with Andrew Onis went to court, I think, the other day.
Yes.
That the government to court. I don't understand. I don't know. I didn't hear the outcome. Nothing was reported. Do you know anything?
All right. I spoke with Rattigan. I think it was 2 days ago. I spoke with Rattigan. And as it relates to Paul Buchanan, right, they were actually waiting on certain for the court decision to go further. So that is where it is with Paul Buchanan, based on 2 days that I have spoken to Rattigan.
So, what with the Onis case now, what happened to that?
All right.
That he take government to court.
A very good question. That is something that when I finish, right, I'm going to seek some information on that, Sister Winnie.
But he went to court the other day, didn't he?
I would believe so. I believe so. I believe that he went to court, but everything is keeping hush, you know.
But it shouldn't be because,
no.
you know, the country should know what is going on.
Exactly. I do agree with you.
Because with this secrecy going on, you do not, I'm not saying the judges ain't doing their job, but with me, I would believe something is going on. Why it's not being reported to the country?
And I tend to agree with you, Miss Winnie, because some level of transparency, you understand, to build back at least public confidence, right, in the system. Because when you hide information from the public, right, you leave the public to presume and deduce from what is happening. And so to avoid those presumptions, you have to be transparent. Lack of transparency invoke perception and other things that people have to deduce from. So you have to be more transparent. And I do agree with you, Sister Winnie.
But I don't understand why Mr. Gold, our market G, got to be pushing for what is going on. The public should know.
Of course.
It should have a press conference to let the people know. He himself do not know what is going on, and we should know, because you as a government take the government to court, which is ridiculous. Why are you hiding what is going on?
Yes.
What is going on? Too much thing is hiding, and then they, you know, I don't know. And if it was the PNP, my God, Jamaica would break down already. They would want to know, you know, it can't happen.
Yes.
So why is this man, is he the devil leader? That everything he do got to be ushers?
You know, I think you're asking a rhetorical question, Sister Winnie. You know that he's the devil leader.
It's not right. And again, now I'm going now to him now with the Cuban. You just dash out the Cuban out of Jamaica that did so much. What the American has done for Jamaica? Nothing. The American hasn't done anything. All they did is give you a visa. You have to buy it. Huh?
You know.
The Cuban come into the country. They build school. They build hospital. They build roads.
Yes.
And because the Americans said, you know, you got to get rid of them, otherwise they can't help you, or they will do this. What America can do, America only can say they're not going to give us help and let's send everybody back home.
Well,
Cuban should treat the Cuban like gold.
Exactly, Sister Winnie. Exactly. Because guess what? The Prime Minister coming out and say what he had said. Remember, you know, in terms of my position, right? Although I agree with the Prime Minister pushing back, but the Prime Minister is a hypocrite. We should know, Miss Winnie. Big hypocrite. Because
I think he's speaking to former Prime Minister. I think he listened to Patterson.
Yes. Yes.
And he said this, but that man is smiling. You know, the Satan smile.
Exactly.
You know, he don't believe still not going to help the Cuban. He's not going to. He only talk that. He don't even help his own Jamaican people who are in need and desperate for houses and somewhere to live and food to eat. He get the containers of food and things, and he's holding on to them. But when the local election come up, 2 months before, he start giving out things. He's not nice, man. He's not going to help the Cubans.
Cannot be. And what you're saying, Sister Winnie, no one can challenge you on that, you know, because that is exactly what he's doing. That is exactly what he's doing, Sister Winnie. Right? Politicizing the relief. Right? It's just wicked. It's just outrightly wicked. He's evil.
Listen to me. When is it local election due? Next year?
I think it's 2 years. Another 2 years. That would be 2028.
He's going to remind me of
29.
Seaga, when the shopkeeper them have to think till Maggot catch them.
In worse than Seaga, Sister Winnie. In worse than Seaga, man. Sister Winnie, we could talk the truth. Him worse than Seaga.
Seaga wicked to the people too. Seaga
Yes, but
murder
him worse than Seaga. Tell you, Sister Winnie. Him worse than Seaga. Believe what me I say to you.
People are starving just like the people that is hungry and desperate in Cuba. The Jamaicans are in the same boat with Andrew Honest. Look after the Cubans, of course, but at the same time, look after your people. Give them the food and the donation money you're keeping. Help them to build they don't want a container house that sweat like there is no tomorrow. Why we want a Chinese container house? Give it to the Chinese, let them live in it. Because they can live like a crab. We can't. We are free to live what we want. Andrew is wicked. Oh, he's got to believe. You know, Satan said to him, no, you better take over for me. You're more wicked than me. I'm telling you, that man is up to something. He's going to flip-flop again and don't even lift a finger to the Cuban. He's going to go back down on his knee to kiss the Americans. American has done nothing but tell me what America built in Jamaica. Tell me.
Exactly.
Who trained the nurses?
Exactly.
Who trained the doctors? What does America do? Yes, they give you a visa, but you have to pay help for it. And if they refuse you, you don't get back that money. What does America do for Jamaica? Or the Caribbean as an whole? What they built? What school? What hospital?
Yes.
What has the American done except give that visa, stupid thing called visa? And everyone go to Jamaica, want to speak American, they would die for America, and American would not die for you.
Exactly.
What Cuba has done a million things for Jamaica. They do free cataract surgery. They help with everything. You can go to Cuba and get help. They train the nurses, the doctors. What had America do?
Yes.
Nothing but only underneath bandage. Oh, America, I'm so glad the Britain and the Canadian and the other country turn against England. Why didn't he say going to do something to Britain and Canada? What can he do? Nothing. America is only because they got guns and they can do what they like because our own people will sell us out.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
sound like that. I am a bad asthmatic, very bad operation. So that's why my voice is so scratchy. Okay? Thank you.
You're welcome, sister.
You,
Blessings.
you and your beautiful wife.
Thank you, Sister Winnie. Bless up yourself. All right. Okay. As I said, those are the calls, that energize me, I mean, look, the truth be told, I mean, the Prime Minister pushing back on United States as it relates to what they have been doing to Cuba, right? Because the unnecessary sanctions that Cuba being undergone is really unnecessary, right? But that is one thing, right? So I am not going to give the Prime Minister any kudos. He's not going to get it around here. And you know, in terms of my position as it relates to facts, I know what I'm speaking, and I'm speaking on facts. Because when you look in terms of what the Prime Minister had done with the Cuban nurses and doctors and put the healthcare system in a more disrepute more than anything else, right? How could it be that he's now coming out now making a 180 degrees turn, right? Speaking against United States, right? Now, I mean, remember, the comrade leader Mark Golding had stated his position, right, in a very balanced way, and speaking as it relates to, right, what is expected and should be done, right, and push back as it relates to, United States try to basically bully the Caribbean, because that's exactly what they are doing, right? That's exactly what they are doing, right? But let me just take another call. Mystic Sensation, you're on Mystic Sensation. Go ahead.
Yes, good evening, Mystic.
Blessings, my brother.
Yeah, Mystic.
Yes, my brother.
I'm in agreement with you on Mystic. And I want to
Blessings.
say congratulations to the Prime Minister of Jamaica for trying to save himself.
Yeah.
Mystic.
Yes.
That man, Mystic, has no intentions. When he really made the speech, Mystic, he was trying not to ruffle even the feathers of the American, Mystic.
That's true. That's true.
I'm telling you, Mystic.
Exactly.
He was, and another thing, Mystic, the reason why he even uttered that speech, Mystic, is because as the leader of CARICOM, Mystic, almost everybody is against the man,
Yes.
It's the only set of people in CARICOM that is with him,
Yes.
The one them who help them to overthrow the other people, who made in them election,
Yes.
And if he was leading by example,
good,
he would not have sent one of the Cuban nurses when their contract expired and left the Jamaican people vulnerable.
Hold on there. Hold that point. Hold that point, because that point is essential. Now, look at Mia Motley. Mia Motley did not send home, right, those Cuban nurses and doctors. Mia Motley stood her grounds. So then it shows you, as it relates to when we talk about a good, effective, strong leader. Mia Motley stood her grounds and defend, right, the sovereignty of her people. What did Andrew Wallace done? Crumbled under it. And take time, send out the Cuban them. That's what he did. So when we have some people, Mikala, you understand, and NNN, they talk about what the Prime Minister did in terms of the Prime Minister responded in a measurable way, and so forth and so forth and so forth. Listen, the Prime Minister is a hypocrite. The Prime Minister is a hypocrite. Right? What the Prime Minister stated at CARICOM, that is the position that the Prime Minister should have held from the beginning. So we don't want anyone misconstrued we around here on this platform, What the Prime Minister stated at CARICOM, that should be the Prime Minister position from the onset. You agree with me, Carla?
Mystic, that should have been his position, Mystic.
Okay.
But he can't hold that position, Mystic.
And you're right. I mean, know why.
He can't hold that position. I'm going to tell you something, Mystic. We throw that we in serious trouble.
Yes.
You see, when them dismantle seat at Mystic.
Yes.
I've called you already and I've said this to you, Mystic. You see the 5,000 pound?
No, not 5,000 pounds, 5,000 kilogram. 5,000 kilogram.
You see the 5,000 kilogram that went missing, Mystic?
Yes.
That America had their eyes on. I'm going to tell you something, One time America did send Jamaica to lock up an inspector, a senior inspector of police. And when them plant the money, somebody in an eye of the skipper of the inspector.
Yes.
And the inspector get away. So I'm telling you this, Mystic. How can you dismantle an office and such serious crime has been committed and nobody go to jail? But the biggest thing, Mystic, where people not looking at? What happened to all the other drugs that has been confiscated by the police and nobody was charged? All of them, they're gone, Mystic.
Very good question. Very good question.
Mystic, all of them, they're gone, Mystic. You think these people, I know them are going to take these 5,000 kg is the first them I take?
No, certainly not. Certainly
okay,
not.
So
certainly not.
Kg. Imagine all the time we are here about guns that come back a road where should have been disposed of or them fine.
Mystic, all them evidence they gone, Mystic.
Yes. I've been speaking on it as well.
We haven't gotten anything. Mystic, if we tackle corruption, and when we say tackle corruption, we mean from judges to politicians to even the banking sector, because when you look at it, you know, when we have the meltdown the other day, you know, Mystic.
Yes.
Andrew come back and get $50 million unsecured loan. And the governor who sits over the Bank of Jamaica, have they done anything to all these banks?
Definitely. Definitely not.
So I'm telling you, Mystic, if we can tackle corruption, and give these people the harshest sentence.
Yes.
The harshest sentence. The people who are leading the nation, they are more dangerous than a gunman or a man who sell a Kia Coke or sell a Kia weed. They are more dangerous because they have the authority to clear the way for themselves all the time.
And you're 100% right, sir. You're 100% right.
So
you're not wrong with
we
that.
can send a message, a clear message, and stop up the court system tie up. I already tell you, Mystic. You see the Andrew Holness case against Paul Buchanan?
Yes.
It's not going anywhere, Because the first thing, this is a matter of national importance.
Yes.
And this thing should have gone through the court system already. Even when them clear as day.
Agreed.
Drag it out.
Agreed. Fully agreed.
I could tell you this. If you see Andrew Holness resign today, it's because of a similar situation like what happened to Bruce Golding. Because the members over the Jamaica Labour Party, they have no credibility. The investigative body, they have no power whatsoever. We can applaud the job that they're doing, and only one of them down there doing job, and that's the Auditor General. And she's toothless. And if you want to know how toothless she be, when she said Grace McLean should be surcharged, the government sat down and wait till the case put up. If you want to know how the government is corrupt, well, we've been going to court for 5-6 years. Case just keep putting off and it keep having file appeal.
I've got to touch on that later. Because that is serious. We're going to touch on that later.
No, it's serious, but Mystic. And next thing I'm going to tell you, Mystic. If you follow Royal Reed case, every time the government talk, the money where it's alleged that him take, it keep reducing. Just listen to TVJ and all of them too. That's how them come across all the time. If the money start out at 50 million, then one next time, a year after you hear the news, it gone down to 40 million, then it gone down to 30 million. They minimize the crime, and even this thing with even Justice Site and the DPP, when them take court and have it in private, when there's nobody gonna disturb the court. And you have it behind closed doors. Now, if you say nobody, but the media should be allowed to video and bring out everything. We don't want to hear no second and nothing.
Yes.
And for me, Mystic, this is me. If the man never do the crime, Mystic, and him say he might take a plea deal for the fact that him shoot him wife 3 times in our vagina, Mystic, him forget life.
Well, them said the fragments have nothing to do with the vaginal cavity, right? It's on her thigh and I think her abdomen. So the issues in terms of shooting her in her vagina, that is not true.
Well, Mystic, that's what I'm telling you. In Jamaica now, we have cases where
like this, Mystic, we should have it be televised live and we seen the exact evidence so people can see, say no corruption, but a lot of time, Mystic,
Yes.
Jamaican court, it don't run straight, Mystic.
Yes.
It don't run straight. I'm telling you already. This EPP lady where you see, Mystic, she cut after the same cloth.
Me no trust her no. Because as you said, you understand, she cut off for the same cloth. She's the protege of Paula Llewellyn. And you're correct. It may sound a weird, but you are correct. You're 100% correct.
Listen, if you want to know, just by what Paula Llewellyn do to Vibes Cartel, whether I was guilty or not.
Yes.
Just by what she did.
Yes.
And them allow her to leave office and don't prosecute her.
Yes.
That tells you how corrupt. And then she even incriminates herself and says it's not the first she do it.
Yes. Let me say something to you, Carla, because if you are speaking on clarity as it relates to gun court in terms of, you know, having access to the gun court view, right? In terms of viewing what is going on. By law, the gun court and Megawatt speak on it, right? Cameras are not allowed in the gun court, and that is something. So it doesn't really have anything to do with Jail and Silvera. That is actually law that they don't really allow camera in the gun court.
Mystic.
Yes.
It's a law, Mystic, that they don't allow camera, right?
Yes.
But it's also a law that they have that, listen, you cannot have anybody in the court except the lawyers in the gun court, you know.
Mm-hmm.
If you feel like the case will be disrupted, right? So what I'm saying to you, you have seen a precedence, Mystic.
Yes.
Where cases that you know have nobody to disturb the place.
Mm-hmm.
And you're telling me that we, the public, can't have, we don't want to hear from the summarization. We don't want to hear the little piece of information. Because if you notice, when they do case like that, Mystic, the public just left behind nothing, no straight, Mystic.
People want to have transparency, and the very same thing that I spoke about.
And if you look at it, Mystic, if you ask them, why is it you don't allow the public to the gun court? If you say no cameras, why is it the public? Is somebody gonna disturb the case? Listen, Mystic, when we have like the Klansman trial and them people, we have journalists there.
Mm-hmm.
And we're talking about gang trial. We're talking about gang trial, Mystic. So when we are talking about people who are in the top echelons of society, Mystic.
Mm-hmm.
People from outside should be there, but there's no transparency. There is none whatsoever. I'm going to tell people already, I'm going to tell them over and over again. Why you think Andrew Holness made the Jamaican judges the highest paid in the Caribbean? Why you think he made the top brass of the police the highest paid in the Caribbean? Why you think he made the electoral office the highest paid in the Caribbean? Why you think the politicians are the highest paid in the Caribbean? Why you think our former prime ministers are the highest paid in the Caribbean? But the people who doing the work are the lowest paid in the Caribbean.
But hold on, let me give you a correction on some of that. I understand where you're going, but as it relates to our politicians, they are not really the highest paid in the Caribbean, you know. You understand? I have done the research, and I was shocked, right, as it relates to what I am seeing. You have, I think you have roughly about 3 other countries that where their politicians getting more paid than Jamaican politicians. But that is beside the point. I understand where you're going. As it relates to the performance of our economy, right? We should not allow that, right? The other three places that I'm talking about, right? Their economy is far way better than us as it relates to even their trading, right? In terms of exporting and importing, they are exporting more than how they are importing. So they don't have a trade deficit; they have a trade plus, right? But Jamaica, when Jamaica, as it relates to Jamaica trade deficit, if you look at it, right, we are talking about we are exporting roughly about 1.7 billion dollars annually, while we are importing roughly about 6 billion, which gives us a trade deficit of roughly about 5 billion dollars. So I mean, the economy is not growing; it's shrinking. That is what is happening, and plus the wickedness. You understand, as it relates to the Prime Minister taking the sort of raise that he's taking. You understand? It's cruelty. It's really cruel.
But Mystic,
yes.
You know the question they need to tell us, Mystic. When the Prime Minister said him not taking salary and he wasn't taking him salary, where did that money go?
All right. Hear me now. Hear my opinion on it, because you know that as it relates to, I'm a certified investigator. And a lot of people are saying that that he has been getting his salary. All right. If that is so, the Prime Minister couldn't be coming out and talking about retroactive, because he would be now committing fraud, right? If he was getting his pay, he wouldn't be coming out and saying that he's going to receive his pay and getting it from use the retroactive, because Mystic Sensation, you understand, would have dig down to say then, okay, if it is a fact that you were getting your pay, you understand, why are you seeking retroactive? That would be fraud. You understand? So
Mystic, that's a bigger can of worm, Mystic. You know, Mystic, if you say you don't want your salary, right, Mystic?
Yeah.
What you're telling me is that because for one, when them preparing payroll, Mystic, them have to prepare an entire payroll.
All right, you want no?
So you're telling me
I know where you're going. All right, hold on.
You prepare your payroll.
Yes.
And then set your money aside in a different account.
No, hold on. I know where you're going, because the Minister of Information, what his name? Morgan.
Morgan.
Well, guess what? He did not, when he came out and spoke, right? He's not all that savvy as it relates to the functionality of the system. So that is one of the things that people need to understand, right? He's saying that the Prime Minister cannot do that and certain things and blah blah blah. He himself is not savvy of how the system works, right? I investigated it, right, and I get to understand that there are mechanisms that was utilized where he did not really take the salary. And remember, I'm a Mystic Sensation listener. You understand? I'm a beat him there and beat him go. But with that, right, he did not get it.
But Mystic, I'm
yes.
not disputing if him get it or if him not get it, What
okay.
I'm saying, Mystic, is this.
If
him say him never want it.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
If you never want it, you didn't instruct them to give it to somebody like Mark Walling said, listen, I will take the 20%.
Yeah.
And the rest of it, when it comes to me, I will send it to here. So for me, if you never want it, Mystic, and then cut the check and hold the rest to the side, and now you might go get it retroactively, Mystic. You know, she say no smell good, Mystic.
Well, my take on the whole thing, right, and which I'm going to say something now. Many of these politicians are not going to be in agreement with me, because I am saying that the economy is not viable to sustain that sort of salary load, giving politicians 200 and 300%. And I am saying, this is my argument, that many of them are not going to agree with me. They should be looking as it relates to reducing their salary to help to stimulate the economy and show sincerity that they care. That is my argument, you know. None of them not going to like it, you know, because they may want when me say, you understand, I don't believe as it relates to the economy, the status of the economy, that the salary that they are getting, you understand, I think it is unconscionable.
I second that, Mystic, and I go.
Exactly.
I add to that. Say, listen, your salary should be pegged to the performance of the country.
Agreed. Before you finish, agreed.
Because listen, Mystic.
Yes.
When we pay public sector workers, who are doing the heavy lifting, Mystic, and we telling them, listen, we can only pay you this because this is how the society is performing. When it performs, you'll get more. I believe the same for politicians. And I believe that the harshest punishment should be for politicians and people who are in power. People who are in power. Why you think the hospital them not being fixed, Mystic? Why you think you hear 500 million spent per hospital, but you don't have no equipment?
Corruption.
In the hospital.
Corruption. What do you think?
So it better we don't fix the hospital and buy equipment. And why is it every year? Just go back from 5 years. I go back to the 10 years that the JLP is in power from 2016. And look at how many dialysis machine, how many ventilators they have received for free. And ask yourself this question, then why is it we still don't have any?
Yes.
But go and meet them, Mystic, because
blessings, my brother.
something have to change. The people them have to stand up and the people them have to demand more. It lies with the people, my brother.
Exactly. Right. And I do agree with what you're saying, because what you're saying, right, I mean, it's true. Because look, as I said, I can't agree with the sort of salary being offered to politicians as it relates to our economy. Can't. Sorry. Can't.
All right. Just answer me this, Mystic. Oh, Melissa blow Mystic. And when you see people about GoFundMe, right?
Yeah.
You can see how much it update. It update in real time.
Yes.
Why is it our site wasn't designed like that?
Yes.
And why is it up to now the government can't tell us how much money them collect?
Yes. All right. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to share something I'm going to share something, Carla, right? To the listeners, right, as it relates to the top 10 highest paid politicians in the Caribbean. Because Andrew Wallace is not the highest paid Caribbean politician. And a lot of people might shock. So I'm going to share that information right now so that people can see it. All right. And have a better understanding of what is going on in the Caribbean. So let me share that. Let me share that information.
All right, cool.
All right. Okay. Let me just hold on. Let me just share this information so that people can understand what the salary is like for some Caribbean prime ministers. Right? Let me just share that. Hold on. Mystic Sensation. Just hold the line a minute. Let me get to you. Let me just put up a clip. Right?
Okay, no problem.
And then we just get to you. Yeah. All right. Just want to share something here. Okay, hold on. Let me share something here and put it up so I have this to share it. Okay. All right. Yes, caller, you're on Mystic Sensation. Go ahead, please.
Yes, brother Mystic, 1 second.
Blessings.
Yes, brother Mystic, how are you doing, sir?
I'm fine. You?
Yeah, not too bad, boss.
Okay.
All right, I have I think I may listen to the program and hear the whole thing about the West Kingston thing and the electoral fraud what we believe was committed.
Yeah, I like how you kind of what we believe because we have not investigated it as yet. So I like how you kind of what we believe thus far. All right. Yeah.
So I think the member of the People's National Party I forget serious on this.
Yeah, I believe so too.
And push back on this whole Warmington recruitment also in the electoral office because if they make this slide them in a serious problem.
Yeah.
Them are in a more problem than where them ever think when them getting up since they make Danville Walker get in an electoral office. If them don't do something about this and stop the nepotism and cronyism where the JLP member of parliament them are going with.
Yes.
They are going to some serious.
I do agree, sir. I do agree.
Trust me, because they make Warmington going at that as it is right now. It's all over. They will look for at least another 3 term in our position. Any of them make this slide.
Well,
I forget out the planted member and the JLP party member them were in the electoral office and clean it and get some people where even if them have imported overseas people and the day of the event.
Yes.
I think that's the way where them have to go. But them have to forget what them plant agent because agent have been planted since PJ time. But PJ was doing so good that's them couldn't get him out.
Yes.
Get him out. I remember from PJ time, Danville.
Yes, but
the electoral officer.
with PJ being third term, that based solely on performance, because
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I know that's what you're saying. I know that's what you're saying, but may I reiterate it? You understand? Because I like what you said, right?
Them have to get serious and get out
Yes.
the plan because the electoral office is the problem.
Exactly.
Even the last election, it shows that the electoral office.
Yes.
So them can't stay and play another blind eye to this because if we out in the public where we not get paid for represent people, you guys and most are out here when
Yes.
I put in the energy. We literally see the electoral office compromise. So we don't know how
And that's true.
the members of the People's National Party coming like them can't see the electoral office compromise. And the compromise are over 20 years now.
Right? It is. And all evidence, right, is all red flags is pointing to that. So the narrative out there as it relates to those media house that doing spin machine for Andrew Holness as it relates to free and fair election. There's nothing free and fair about the election. Nothing.
No, it couldn't be, man. It's clear from
Of course.
From the night of the local government,
Yes.
It was totally clear what was going to happen. Big Mama let the puss out of the bag,
Dushi and Savadia.
No, Big Mama let the puss out of the bag when he called the election for Mark.
Yes.
Which was true.
Yes.
The Mark win the election, clean sweep. Also, because if you go back and watch them videotape at the if you can get your hands on the videotape at the event and focus on the screen, don't focus on the and where the panelists they're saying. Because they've come do the same thing in the general election. They've been calling the election before the vote them even start coming.
Yes.
Emily Shields and all them there, they are not call the election.
Yes.
Before the vote even come in.
Yeah.
When you have Mark Golding as the dominant, popular one.
Yes.
It was Andrew the popular one. If it was Andrew the popular one, you could have called it.
The man no lose him seat. Where popular they go beside him name. The man lost him seat, you know. We don't know where the man lost him seat.
Him get beaten, you know?
Exactly.
I would say I hold it more thing, but we're not even say them thing the over it. But a time for the People's National Party, some of the members they pull up them socks.
Yes.
Because have 100% than what it was, and you make it seems like the 14 stronger than the 28.
Exactly.
We don't say it new and it fresh.
Yeah.
But you can't ease up the pressure.
One thing me I go tell you, Carla. One thing me I go tell you, Carla. You understand? We know we in social media. You understand? We are not. We are going to circle the ECJ like a shark.
Thank you, sir.
Right?
Yeah.
Go make sure so we circle the ECJ because listen to me. We now go give them the room there, like what they have gotten the last time. You know, we dip on them.
But mistake. It's not about we because if you check it, we're gonna do the work, bro.
Yes.
Like and I don't want them feel like say. I don't want none of them, not even Mark Golding, feel like say them bring this to them, you know. And not them bring the victory. And people like Uno, you know, we don't know some, you know.
I'm glad you thought that.
You yourself, you know. Even Sir Rattigan, you know.
And that's that. Yes.
You know, Uno bring them home, you know. I don't want them feel like say them put in a work. Yeah, them do them little thing, Mark and Dayton do him thing, but what them do couldn't move the needle, brother. The social media impact wanna beat them.
And that's true. That's true.
Beat them at that break the barrier. So I don't want them to sit down and go on. Like say, you know, at them make them win. I want Damian Crawford know, so we lose our 5. We lose our 5, Damian. We attack Lord, I mean I love if you make ball or somebody put this for repeat and put this for repeat, so we lose our 5, Damian. Because a long time you're out in the wilderness, couldn't win a seat no matter where you go. You couldn't win a seat and you finally come against Mark Golding and you bring home a 1 seat. Secure yourself, brother. And make them mix you up. Run with people.
All right.
That's what people come here and talk. What are them, man?
All right.
I really go on.
All right, my boss. All right. Because, I mean, I'm Mark Golding, we stand behind, you know. You understand? Social media, Mark Golding, we stand behind. So anybody who anybody who have any interest, you understand, them upon them own. We have to tell them that. We have to tell them that.
Man have interest because, of course, you're supposed to be you know, if you want to see the best for you, like if a man wants to see the best for himself, be 100% with him.
Yeah, nothing no wrong in terms of having interest, but you understand? Exactly. That's my point. And see you say that. That's my point. Exactly my point.
Not even 6 months, you know, do as a member of parliament, they name a call, but you are run against the man and bring on the home, brother.
That's exactly my point. And remember, right under Mark Golding leadership of the People's National Party, an excellent performance from 14 to 28. You understand? And remove the 2/3 majority. Boy, I'm glad you called. I'm glad you called today. So, of course. No, no, sir. You can't put losing. You can't put losing at the integrity boss name. You can't put losing at the integrity boss name, you know. You understand? Because
anybody when it at the leader would have literally, if I even lose by 1 seat.
Yeah, man.
It was a steep hill for climb.
Exactly.
It was a steep hill, and if you pick off 14,
yes.
you know,
and
that's a great performance.
And me love how you talk, you know. Let me tell you something. Me love how you talk the conversation. Me hear certain things, you know. Me no bother carry going, you know. You understand? Because me just leave it dead in the water, you know. Listen me. You understand? And I do agree with you. When certain argument are the way is ugly head, shut it down. Shut it down. Point blank and period. Shut it down.
The man is supposed to come put your name, you.
Right?
Make them put Parwell's name. Make them put
shut it down.
Angela Brown name. You know, make them put some other people where it win them seat out of the 14. It will look better to me. It will look better if somebody out of the 14 say, boy, you know me that give him a challenge. But you when you have no seat for over 3 term, you know no seat from Portia Simpson time. Anyway, they put you loose.
But here the thing is, all right. I want to tell you something. I'm going to say it straight since we are in that conversation, right? For any persons who have any form of interest, right? You have certain platforms that are not going to follow that. You understand? A Mystic Sensation is not going to follow that. Andre Stevenson is not going to follow that. A Lonesome is not going to follow that. Right? A Talk Your Mind is not going to follow that. A Attack for the Press not going to follow that. A ABR not going to follow that. So we shall that go. We shall that go.
Well, I don't know where to go, you know, but
okay, so
the way them money move,
yeah.
them money move like, you know, and regardless of what nobody has said, you know what I'm saying, I really like me have high respect for every Wilmington.
Mm-hmm.
Because I see this man put on him foot, even against Juliet and him own side. Like, I don't know if I play them, I play a game. But trust me,
yeah.
if we ever say me I go vote for a JLP member of parliament, me that give everyone Wilmington the vote.
Well,
with hands down.
Well, here's my opinion. I don't trust him more than Wisham. I can't see him.
No, me not talk about the trust. I'm talking about him stands where him take.
Yeah, me not follow him stands, you know, because they're my hypocrite.
No, we know that. Like, we know that, bro.
Yeah.
We know
me not follow them stands.
We know some of them things are tricks.
Exactly. Me not follow them stand. Me not. Let me tell you something, Carla. I don't read in on nothing. You understand what the JLP people are doing. You understand? I don't read in nothing. You understand? We depend on our own, you understand, foundation and our own skills and effort and objectives, and we move forward.
Yeah.
You understand? And that's what we think there.
I'm saying in a real life, you know,
yeah.
Of course I will know them, you know, like, we live through it,
and
it just sad. That's the younger generation. Me don't know if it's because, you know, the People's National Party member, them not talk.
Yeah.
Like, this is what we are talking about. Like, you know, that's why I tell you, say, regardless of what I have respect for everyone.
All right. Hold on there. London 45, if London 45, they are blessed up yourself, London 45, and my lady that, you know. So people, listen. London 45, you know, make sure so you don't go over London 45 and do the thing, you know. You understand? You can't left out the warrior like London 45. Don't left out warrior like ABR. Don't left out warrior like Attack for the Press. You understand? Them lady, they are real maroon warrior. So from London 45, they are big up yourself, London 45, and make sure so people when you go over, right at endorse them channel here. London 45. Me talk about the ladies them now. I don't want to make them feel jealous. No. I ladies them I deal with. You understand? London 45, ABR, Attack for the Press, when you go over, endorse. You understand? Our. You understand? Queen them here. You understand me? I say, yes, a fire warrior them, yeah. You understand? So make sure so they endorse them. All right, Carla, go ahead.
Yeah, man. That's me I say, you know, it's not an endorsement, you know, brother. Don't get me wrong, you know.
Okay.
But it's a man where
No, but you couldn't do no endorsement on your manly heights. So what? No, man. Yeah. Me no look for the stands them. But I want to take stands or you want to sit down. Me no look for them, you know. I mean, no give him the time of day. Yeah, which is true. But as I say, me not really pay. Me not give them no energy.
You have to watch them and study them, you know. You can't go on like you want to play no loose ball.
No, we don't play no loose ball. We don't play no loose ball and we don't give them no energy. Watch your antigen. Big up yourself to antigen, man. Antigen, big up yourself. Boy, the amount of female warrior we have, you know. You understand? Because antigen do our thing too. Eh?
That's why I want them know. I go back to Samantha. You know, we want to go back to make them know. Our people know.
All right.
So, yo, we are watch what I want.
What you mean?
We are see what I want. And we don't want some of them get over them, put them head over them heel over them head.
That is it.
Just be a man.
That is it.
Stand up for where you get paid for.
That is it.
You know?
That a cool.
We don't agree with the amount of money we want to get, but we don't get it already. So, we don't stand up.
That are the code, boss. Exactly, that is
and
it.
And a mark holding at the man. Mark holding at the man.
Couldn't be.
Well,
I mean.
So them want to come because them can't stop the next. Them can't stop it in a 4-year time if a 4 year from now.
Look. Let me tell you something. Any victory, and we are telling them that playing right and now. Right then and now, we are telling them playing. You understand? A Marky G. One Marky G. And I'm just saying that. One. What me say, Carla? One who?
Yeah, one Marky G.
All right. I'm just saying that. I'm just saying that.
4 years from now, it's gone.
Exactly.
If a 1 year from now, when you predict by next year, by this year, it's gone.
And we are telling them, you know. Watch out. From 14 to 28, you know take nothing for crush 4. From 14 to 28, you know take with nothing for crush 4. So we're good. You know take nothing for crush 4 more. But let's see, another 14. Yeah, me love that. Me love that.
Control on yourself, brother.
Yes.
Because a 14 more are come from the wagon.
Wow.
They must have space.
Wow.
14 more are come from the wagon.
Love that.
And they can't miss the next time.
Yeah.
So them make sure so them get electoral office.
How you
under
mean?
control and some man.
That a code that that's a thing said.
Bury them ego like our dog bury bone.
I don't know where that's going on. That's why if you notice I'm not too talk on it, you know. If you notice I'm not too talk on it because I'm not give certain things, certain energy and all that.
No. Watch everything, man. I'm say you want talk, man, but do the general at the red.
You see it?
You say you're kind of hold it down, you know?
Exactly.
But me I make them know, say, we are watch what I want, and some man to dig a hole like that and bury them ego.
All right, sir. All right.
Because over 15 years we see them out in the bush.
Okay.
So you shouldn't come make your name a call.
No, Ray. Cut off the loose ends. And the passa and Ray, blah, blah, blah. Cut it.
When some man come to you for ruin us, so you have
What do you mean?
some man. And ask people.
That's what we think there.
So you have your evidence to show so you embarrass them.
Exactly.
Because when I get enough money, you can pay one little cameraman to come everywhere we do.
So, you understand?
But big up yourself, you know.
Blessings, my brother.
Enough respect, you know.
And don't be a stranger, you know. Continue to call the program. Don't be a stranger, you know.
That's true. You know, I realize that one time.
All right.
All
right. That's not my boss.
So that's I heard.
Yes.
Enough respect. Yeah.
All right. Blessings, my brother. All right. Cool. Yes.
Sir.
All right. Yeah, we're going to show the thing now as it relates to the Caribbean prime ministers, them. You understand? Who them will get more money than Jamaica. But nevertheless, we don't have the economy. as it relates to the strength of our economy. And what happened, you understand, is a level of cruelty. I'm just not take back my talk. I believe that there should be discussions in terms of pay reduction. And there's something there. You understand? You don't like it, I saw it go. You understand? And there's something there. Point blank and period. All right. Well, let me just show this. Just for just for the education to make people aware that you have other prime ministers in the Caribbean that is getting even more money than Andrew Holness. So let me just play that.
Ever wondered how much a Caribbean leader earns? Think it's more than your yearly salary? You might be surprised. Welcome to our exclusive dive into the fascinating world of Caribbean leaders' salaries. We're counting down the top 10 highest paid political figures in the Caribbean, revealing not just the numbers, but the stories behind these leaders. From modest earnings to jaw-dropping paychecks, get ready for a journey that will leave you questioning, are they worth it, or is it too little? Stay tuned, because what we're about to reveal will definitely surprise you. In global politics, where decisions shape nations, leaders wield immense power and responsibility. They grapple with monumental challenges, steer the course of their countries, and often find themselves amid profound historical moments. The scrutiny, the demands, and the expectations that come with such roles are unparalleled. However, beyond the weight of their responsibilities lies an intriguing aspect of world leadership: their salaries. The compensation of world leaders is a subject that raises questions, sparks debates, and offers a unique insight into the priorities and values of nations across the globe. Today, we embark on a journey to explore the intriguing world of Caribbean leaders' salaries and report the 10 highest paid Caribbean leaders. Kicking off our list at the number 10 slot, we have the newest elected leader on our list, Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Terence Drew. A medical doctor turned politician, he is the 4th Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, having been elected in August 2022. Not a seasoned politician, Prime Minister Drew rose to be elected leader of the St. Kitts and Nevis Labour Party in 2021, where he quickly won the election the following year. His salary is fairly modest, especially considering the other leaders we can expect to see later on this list. Coming in at $150,000 Eastern Caribbean dollars, this is equivalent to just $55,500 a year. With an average salary in St. Kitts and Nevis of $19,730, the Prime Minister earns almost 3 times the salary of the average person, a useful metric we will use as we continue down our list.
Mystic Sensation.
Next up on our list, we have the Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, Mr. Gaston Brown. Prime Minister Brown has held the position of Prime Minister since 2014 and has become one of the stalwart figures of Caribbean leadership.
Yes, caller, you're on Mystic Sensation. Go ahead. Yes.
Blessed, the brother, blessed, man, blessed. I'm not driving, but I have to give you a call because
Blessings, my brother.
we can't drive in peace. I'm not listening to your program because your program keep me going at the time and I'm not drive on the road.
All right, thank you. Glad to hear that.
Yeah, man. So me have to give. Yeah, man. It's between you, Bolo, and Andre, and the other guys there. What name again? Jay Bryan.
Okay.
Yeah, man. And sometimes I listen to Pretty Face. So you see me, I say, no, me I talk to pretty girl there. And the ladies
them. I talk for the press, London 45 and ABR and so forth.
And Mama, you know.
Okay, and Auntie Jen, eh?
Yeah, we call her Mama Jen, you know.
Mama Jen, yeah. All right.
Yeah, so I was listening to you and the call a bit previously.
Yes.
When talking about Damian Crawford and stuff like that, you know.
Yes.
So we just want to pencil up a little 2 cents against what he was saying there, isn't it? So
yeah.
Basically, Damian Crawford is the one that caused in the midst of the chaos, you know.
Yeah.
In the end, I'm not going to
Yeah, man. And then a garbage, man. And you're right. You're right. And then a big garbage. A big garbage.
Yeah. So it's not Demon Crawford. Demon Crawford will never dare go up against Mark Golden.
All right.
Just win the election.
Yes.
What do you have now to say, well, okay, I'm going to put him in a Mark Golden shoes? He cannot do that. And the matter of fact, it's not him. It's NNN.
Yes.
Split you and the Cumberland them, and they are the one who's doing it.
Yeah, man.
You know, them cards came with the previous administration with Mama P and with Mama P and Lisa Anna and the whole of them. Yesterday I deal with.
No, you're right, Carla. Some segregation tactics them are try to use, you know. You understand?
Exactly.
Yeah, so you're right.
I don't cut you. As Bowler would say, not Bowler, Jay Bryan would say, they are afraid of Mark Golden.
And Jay Bryan is right. Jay Bryan is right.
Exactly, because Mark Golden was way down under the ladder, way down under the ladder foot. And to see Mark Golden climb up in them face and stand up and looking at them face now. They are afraid, so they want to cause division. They might try to sow discord.
Exactly. Exactly, Carla. Exactly. Perfectly right.
We can do it again to cause to say, okay, then see what is happening in the PMP, and then everybody know going to start to stress them head now, because that's what people are doing. People are get gingy. What is going on? It's not Damian Crawford is the problem. It's not. So we don't want the colonists to think about Damian Crawford. Damian Crawford don't do nothing. That's why Damian Crawford come out and make it be known that, listen, we're going up against a Mark Golden right now. That's not in my book.
All right.
The interview with him. He make it plain and straight. He said, I'm not going up against a Mark Golden right now. Even though my aim is to lead the party in the future, but an election has to run in 2 years after election run, something like that.
Yes, he did speak about it. He did speak about that. Yes. He did.
And then again, he don't have the ability right now to say, well, I don't say he don't have the ability. But no one is looking his way right now. Everybody eyes is focusing on Mark Golden right now.
Yes.
So all he has to do is wipe a little backside and sit down quiet and wait until Mark Golden step into it, and then Mark Golden said, okay, you know what? I'm going to step aside now. I'm going to give you the run and give that one the run.
Yes.
Whether Nathan Campbell and you are any one of them in the party right now, we said, okay, then they have the capability to do it, then fine, we will work with you. But
yes.
No, sit your behind down. And as I said before, it's not really him. It's NNN. Those. So I don't want to go to the language in your program because you know.
Yeah. Of course, them are garbage.
Garbage, man.
Right.
They are JLP social media.
Yes. Talk it as it is. Talk it as it is. You understand? GLP spin machine.
Yeah.
That's all they are.
Yeah.
They are no journalists over there. GLP spin machine. That's all what they are. Lost their credibility. Exactly. Exactly.
I was listening, I was on my phone, I'm coming from work.
Yes.
I'm sitting with my coach. And I'm listening, just going to take up a drink of brandy. I'm just have a shot of brandy because the time cold. You know?
All right.
You know, can I get the vibes more melody?
Yes.
I mean, listen, I scroll through TikTok. I'm going to go through TikTok and see one guy with one green hat and one green shirt sit on a chat. And I said, PMP not do nothing for the country of Jamaica. I said, but hold on a minute. These guys really and truly know what they really talking about. So I said, let me give a little more listening ears of it. You know, because me not normally listen to them directly. I'm listening, but I don't really listen to them people.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But to me, I scroll through, I'm find it. I say, I'm here call PMP name. I say, let me listen and hear what really I feel.
Exactly.
The man said, PMP don't do nothing to Jamaica.
All done, them, man.
And that topic was on. The one this guy was talking, and the guy said, if you want to prove him, can plug the proof. So I feel to it, and I said, boy, listen to me. Tell me who built the schools them in Jamaica.
All right.
Who built the school? I'm going to go as far as a university. And the guy come back and said, he stopped the speech that with him and the guy and said, who built the university? He said, school, you know? Him don't mention the school, he said the university.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy said, PMP didn't build a university in Jamaica.
Huh?
Yeah, he said that. He said PMP didn't build no university in Jamaica. And I said, what? So I said, what about the school? And he said, I'm not up back. PMP don't do nothing in Jamaica more than build garrison and create chaos in Jamaica. So I said, whoa. And him just a Mark Golden case and they must slam Mark Golden and go on. So I said to them, so I type in and I said, look here. Edward Seaga was a white man. And the whole of them vote for him and carry him through. And for that fact, Edward Seaga, most of the whole of them was white. So what the difference is now with a Mark Golden? Michael Manley was a white man, and yet still him have the heart of a lion in Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
These are who set the pace that they could get a PJ Patterson, another PJ Patterson, you could get a Mama P.
Yes.
And them people stand up for Jamaica people. Them go all out. And Madrapa, who said, PMP do nothing. How about what the thing where the Labour right did mess it up, Bruce Cooley did mess it up. So them couldn't go see with the IMF.
Oh, you mean the economy?
Yes.
Yes.
I said, how about that? Your government messed up this, that, this, why we couldn't have got no foothold in IMF. And Mama P go there, I don't know what Mama P do, but she spin the wheel around.
Yes.
And then we could get the opportunity to go to Commonwealth to IMF back again.
Exactly.
No way. The Prime Minister.
Oh, you mean Andrew Wonnes? Andrew Wonnes.
Yeah, but honestly, I like him.
Well, I don't know if you're forgetting him.
Prime Minister of Jamaica will be saying, we don't like the man, Bridget. We don't like, honestly, we just, physically not doing nothing. But when he messed up and peed,
No, hold on. Let me correct you. What you mean say physically not do anything? What you mean by that? When him damage the economy, hold on. When him damage the economy, right? Him reduce opportunity for you. Him reduce opportunity for several Jamaicans. He reduce opportunity as it relates to our youth being educated. Look what them do with the education system. So don't say that.
Yeah.
Don't say that.
Yeah. Don't rephrase it.
All right.
I will rephrase it. Him hurt the virgin.
Exactly.
Him hurt the virgin.
Of course, him hurt all of us.
Yes. And I feel a way let down in Canada. Canada media talk to you right now.
Yes.
I feel a way let down when media Canada people are come to me and said, how is your country? How is your leadership down there? Honestly, Mystic, I don't know what to say. I cannot proudly recommend a government in my country that is doing great. You know who we talk about? The opposition leader.
Yeah.
And then we talk about it. I said, who is leading right now? Because sometime last week, a guy was sitting beside me in the lunchroom, said to me, which party is leading? Is winning the election? Because they hear me in the lunchroom every day with the campaign trail with Mark Golden, so the horn is blowing, so them hear me because I never have an headpiece on. So them hear it, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And them hear me, and the guy said to me, man, Byron, you need to buy a headpiece, man. That means every day you come with it, you know. Because I was following it. I mean, I don't want nobody to tell me nothing about what's taking place. I want to see for myself. I want to have that experience, even though I'm in Canada. You know?
Yes.
So, basically, what I see there, Virgin, and that's one that thing again, a mistake. PMP was robbed, just like how they was robbed the local election.
Yes.
Yes, PMP was robbed, you know, just like how they robbed the local election. Because as the other guy was talking a while ago about, said, yo, please let the push out of the bag. When he call Mark Golden's name and said the PMP is finally now come true with the election and we can now call it for the PMP. As soon as Andrew Wallace got into the office, and NNN, it changed. I said, good God Almighty, what the hell is this? What's going on here? And then what got me more, again, mistake, if you can go back again and look on the tape.
Yes.
Allah, you not, is when the Prime Minister said, and that's final.
All right. All right.
Yeah, he said that's final.
All right.
He
All right.
said,
All right, Mikhail.
we are now meeting in something like a 4-seat, 7-seat.
All right.
PMP have something like 4.
All right.
Something like that.
All right. You want more caller? I forgot run where left you because another caller coming in. A couple calls are coming. I'm gonna give them a chance to come soon close off. You hear? Let me just run left you for a minute. Yes.
I don't want the people to feel like Damien Crawford is a problem. It's no problem.
Okay.
There's no problem with PMP.
All right.
Is the seed, the discard seed sower.
All right.
So they just love the Lord.
All right. Blessings.
All right.
All right. Okay. All right. Caller, I missed your call. So can you call back, please? Because I just, missed your call. I realized that you hung up. So just call me back. Let me just give you a minute. So if you are hearing me, you can just call me back. In the meantime, let me just engage this clip as it relates to what the people are listening to.
With an academic background in banking and finance, Brown ventured into politics through the Antigua and Barbuda Labour Party, ABLP. He quickly rose through the party ranks and was elected as the Member of Parliament for St. John's City West in 2004. Brown's tenure as Prime Minister has been marked by a commitment to economic growth, social development, and international cooperation. And for this, he has been greatly rewarded. His current salary stands at $150,000 EC dollars, which is equivalent to $55,500 US. This is almost twice the average salary in the country. Continuing, we have yet another Eastern Caribbean country by the name of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, whose Prime Minister is none other than Ralph Gonsalves. Prime Minister Gonsalves is one of the serving Prime Ministers in the Caribbean, having been the country's leader since 2001, 22 years. He is the longest continuously serving head of government since St. Vincent and the Grenadines became independent in 1979. Gonsalves' journey in politics began early, and he was involved in various political and legal roles before becoming Prime Minister. Gonsalves has been a Member of Parliament, MP, for the constituency of North Central Windward since 1994. In 1994, upon the formation of the Unity Labour Party, he became Deputy Leader and eventually Leader in 1998.
Hello?
With Gonsalves as leader, the ULP dominated elections consistently leading him to serve as party leader and prime minister. He holds a doctorate in government from the University of the West Indies, and his academic background has been instrumental in shaping his political career.
That's going on.
When it comes to salary, he is not too dissimilar to that of our number 10 slot, with a total annual salary of $150,454 EC dollars, or $55,724 US dollars. That is more than 3 times the average salary in the country at $40,900 EC dollars.
Yes.
Moving on, we come to one of the most notable leaders of the region, leading one of the most recognized countries from the Caribbean, the Prime Minister of Jamaica, Andrew Holness. Hailing from Kingston, Andrew Holness has been the leader of Jamaica since 2016. Holness previously served as Prime Minister from October 2011 to January 2012 and was the youngest person.
All right. Yes, caller. Let me just put you on to speak. Yes, caller. Go ahead.
The claim made in the CARICOM.
Yes.
Yes. He was he's on the fence with his speech because he kind of talk about supporting Cuba, but at the same time he said that like he wanted Cuba to become a democratic system. Which is hypocritical.
Yes, because it is going against. It is going against. Yes.
China is supporting Jamaica in a big way.
Yes.
They cannot criticize, as he's not criticizing China, but they want to criticize Cuba.
Yes.
So it's kind of defending America in a way, you know?
Yes.
So trying to sit on the fence.
Exactly.
I don't know if you realize that.
To be honest, in terms of you mention it now, right? Because if why you want Cuba becomes democratic when you understand their political philosophy.
That's right. That is it.
That would make sense. So that is like you're critiquing them. Yes. Thank you to point out that. Thank you to point out that because that is big. That is big. Thank you to point out.
That is big, man. Because remember, the United States, can't pressure China to change,
Yes.
And they can't pressure Russia to change.
And he wouldn't mention that to China. He wouldn't.
That's it.
So thank you, Carla. That's a very important point. Blessings.
Ever to be Prime Minister in Jamaica's history at the age of 39. He was elected as the Member of Parliament for West Central St. Andrew in 1997 and quickly rose in prominence as he became involved in various roles within the Jamaica Labour Party, JLP. Soon he was the leader and led them to victory on multiple occasions. When it comes to his salary, Prime Minister Holness has received positive criticism this year, as he announced that he will not be taking his massive pay hike under the new compensation structure for the political directorate in 2023. His compensation therefore will remain at its previous level, which is 9.1 million Jamaican dollars, instead of rising to 28.6 million Jamaican dollars.
Okay, let me just stop this and clarify something here because they quote him at the 9. Hold on. Let me just clarify something here. Right? Now, when they had done that, they quoted the Prime Minister at 9 million when he did not take the salary. Further investigation that I have done, and plus a caller who just called to clarify the situation, and I also confirm it, is at 200,000 US, equivalent to $20 million. Andrew Holness, indeed, Jamaica is the highest paid Prime Minister in the entire Caribbean. And that is really sad as it relates to my confirmation, right, a while ago, particularly where the caller who just called me. So that, right, is really and truly, to me, is a kick in my stomach. Because in comparisons with other Caribbean, right, their economies are doing far more better than us. But yet, right, the Prime Minister, who riddle the country with corruption. Let us speak the thing now, the truthfulness. And most of these politicians, let us talk it. Because it is what it is. Most of these politicians are not performing to be getting the salary that they get. And the Prime Minister said that he will hold them responsible as it relates to performance. So then, that is something that the Prime Minister, it goes to show you that this Prime Minister has no conscience whatsoever. None whatsoever. None. And what makes it worse, Jamaica people, the man take it with retroactive. The man they take it with retroactive. So the Prime Minister household, how much his household is bringing in? If you consider the Prime Minister $28 million and said Juliet owners roughly about 18. Just imagine it. Annually, the household that they take home roughly about $48 million. Greed and corrupted, wicked, right? So listen to me. Where he is concerned, he is a Dracula. And where she is concerned, his wife, she's a vampire, sucking the blood of the poor people. What are they doing? Look on the roads. Look on the roads, people. Look on the bridges. Look at our healthcare. Look at our education system. Dry eye robbery. Dry eye robbery. So indeed, right, and this is one of the reasons why I stopped playing the clip. Because when they did the Prime Minister was getting $9 million on the seat. You understand? And at the end of the clip, right, based on what the Prime Minister's salary is, right, the Prime Minister is considered to be the highest paid Prime Minister in the entire Caribbean. That is wicked, cruel. But then look at our economy, compared to a Cayman economy. Cayman economy is much more vibrant, and your Cayman Prime Minister is getting less than Andrew Holness. Talk of the thing then, people. But then look at the Nassau economy. And Nassau economy is more vibrant than Jamaica. The Prime Minister is getting more pay. How the Prime Minister can justify that? How can that be justified? How can ever that be justified? And wicked and cruel. So all over the talk, you understand? And the talk about how the Prime Minister was measurable in I'm tone CARICOM. Let me tell you something. Me well want United States come for him like right now. Do you know how much people that suffer under this man? Do you know how much people are weep and are mourn under this administration here? Me well want United States, look here, me say me well want United States come and move him, who don't like it, and when me talk, a freedom business that, me well want him to be removed. I'm a back USA upon that, I don't care what nobody wants to say. Think of it. And see Serene put you up here, look on the wickedness. Look on the wickedness, people. Serene put it up here. The speaker's salary is approximately $22.8 million. And he might get 28. Or roughly about $51 million and something that, for one household, For one household, You Unnecessary this a wickedness. Unnecessary this a cruelty. Eh? Look on it. Well, my Jamaican people, me want to ease down and come back later upon them, you know. And later we will have melting pot in the place. I don't know some melting pot not really to love the Friday morning, you know. So, right, we are going to end the program. I want to say to all of my peeps, thank you for the support. Really appreciate that. Really appreciate the energy. Right? So make sure, say, right, when you come back in later, you understand? We dip on it again later. So, Jamaica, for now, love you know, walk good, right? Later. Blessings are my peeps. Blessings.
I know why you come to me with that foolishness, you know. You elect a prime minister, and is a prime minister run the country. It is time we learn to hold our leaders accountable for their actions and stop making excuses for them. Stop making excuses. Otherwise, go elect the people who really run in the country. And I don't want the right side that stupid argument. Hold the people you elect accountable and stop making excuses for them.